what's up? It's Jacqueline. Welcome back to the show and welcome to episode 420. Now listen, we made it, episode 420. Anytime there's a number, an episode number that pops up that is a thing that exists as a number that registers in people's heads where they think of something associated with that number. I did episode 69 all about the number 69, about the sex position 69, about the history of the number 69. I took it literally, okay? Anytime there's an episode, so since episode 69, there hasn't been an episode number for me to take literally, okay? Let me just say this about episode 420 and the journey I'm going to take you on today, okay? And my mom's going to love this because my mom thinks weed is meth. So she's going to love the way I navigate this episode. 420, smoking weed, getting high is not part of the Jacqueline Monroe Show brand. I am not leaning into the number. I'm not taking it literal today, okay? Sorry. If you are looking forward to Jacqueline getting high on the show, smoking a bowl, hitting the fucking pen, whatever, how else would I, what's my, if I am going to do it, what's my choice? My method of getting high, my choice, a gummy. Okay. You're not getting that. Okay. In my opinion, by the way, certain things need to be kept to yourself as an adult. Okay. There are certain things that need to be kept to yourself. And an adult meaning you're over the age of 25. Okay. I think under 25, you can kind of get away with it. It can be part of your personal brand, but smoking weed is one of them. Okay. Keep that shit to yourself. If you're over the age of 25, it's not cute. It's losery as fuck. I think weed in general comes with it has a losery vibe to it. So if you're an adult, if you're someone like me in my 30s coming to episode 420, talking about getting high and being stoned on the show and making it like this thing, you're a loser, okay? The only people that can get away with this are actual like stoner losers where their entire podcast is. I'm not saying Joe Rogan's a loser, by the way, because he does get stoned with his guests all the time. It's like certain people get a pass, but it's not cute. If you're a girl like me, it's just not, I don't think it's, anyways. Yeah, keep that shit to yourself, okay? We're drinking a coffee and we're having a sparkling water inside of my Stanley cup today, okay? We're keeping it real basic. It's a vanilla latte, a hot vanilla latte, and a peach flavored sparkling water in my 40, how many ounces is this tumbler? 40 ounce tumbler. I wasted a lot of sparkling waters to fill that up today. Yeah, keep shit to yourself. There's certain things that need to be kept to yourself. Smoking weed. And also we touched on this last episode. Sorry, I'm late, by the way. Something came up this weekend. But I'm back. We're here. We did it. I touched on this last episode. Fucking needlepoint. Okay. Do that shit in the comfort of your own home. Do not publicize that you do needlepoint in your 20s, or 30s, or if you are not over the age of 65, do not publicize the fact that you do needlepoint. Okay. As a hobby, as a kinetic, what do they call it now? As a, people are really into doing non-phone activities, creative activities, like coloring books and needlepoint and mahjong certain people, okay, the mahjong thing, I touched on this last episode. If you're, just go listen to my rant about needlepoint, mahjong, and cosplaying like you're a grandma when you're young and hot in your 20s and 30s, okay? As like your personal brand. Back to like personal branding. Weed is not part of my personal brand. We're not talking about it today. And yeah, okay. So my microphone is way too loud in my ears, or my headphones I'm hearing my voice too loudly. Okay, this is a heavy episode, heavy hitting episode. I will touch on, okay, I'll tell a little story time about smoking and being a stoner I might as well. I'll start the episode off with a brief story time about the first time I got high with my brother. Okay. It involved a Tresemme bottle, turned into a gravity bong, a Tresemme bottle from my childhood home's family communal shower, because we only had like one good shower growing up that we all used, and there was a Tresemme bottle, a shampoo bottle. So it involved my brother, a shampoo bottle, converted into a gravity bong, and my brother getting extremely frustrated because he couldn't find in my dad's really, it was always messy garage, all the tools, the disorganization in the garage growing up was never not a thing. And my brother was frustrated as we were constructing this gravity bong. Now, mind you, this is the first time I'm getting high, and I'm doing it out of a shampoo bottle. Sorry, Mom. I know I said you're going to like the way I navigate this episode because I'm not talking about weed and I'm not giving you the scary details about weed and my experience with it, because I know you associate, like, weed and meth are on the same playing field in your brain. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you the story. The first time Robert got me high, I think you were off on a business trip for the weekend, and Dad was who the fuck knows where, at God knows what hour of the night we were doing this. He was probably at the casino. Let's be honest. When mom was away, Dad was at the casino. All right. So my brother was frustrated because the fucking garage was disorganized and he couldn't find the right bolts to screw into the side of this Tresemme shampoo bottle to create the funnel. I don't know, like the airflow, airway hole for the weed to get smoked through. I have no idea how to build a gravity bong. I just know that we figured it out. We got the right bolts. I'm standing in my dining room right by the kitchen door with my brother, and he lights that shit up. And I remember immediately saying, call an ambulance. I took it down the throat all the way to the lowest part of my like whatever the lowest point, all the way to the bottom of my lungs, borderline, all the way to my fucking taint. Okay, it was. Okay, side note, the word taint is such a great word. Like, I throw that around in conversation with Corey a little too much. Like, we just love joking about the word taint. I don't know. So it rolled off the tongue today. Sorry. But I took that shit all the way down to my taint. I said, call an ambulance. I'm dying. What just happened? And then, as you know, when it feels like that, when it burns your throat that bad, if you're listening right now, you tuned in because you are a stoner, and you're looking, oh my God, you are a stoner and you're looking forward to this episode of me getting high, and now you're disappointed because I'm not. You know that when you take it that deep to the throat and it's that painful that you're going to get high as fuck. And within a few under a minute, honestly, it hits you so fast. I'm on the couch sinking backwards into it. Robert puts on Wiz Khalifa, The Plan, I believe. The Plan by Wiz Khalifa. I'm looking at Wiz Khalifa in the music video on the TV screen in our living room. I'm sinking back into the couch. And just like when my sister got me drunk for the first time, I immediately said in that moment, oh, I get it now. I get why people do this. So I had the same experience. I'm seeing Wiz Khalifa pop out of the screen. It felt like he was, in the room with me, like 3-dimensional. I don't know what, I mean, this was like, what kind of weed was this? I don't even know. But I'm into it. I'm high. I'm like loving life. And then the night ended with Robert playing Halo in his bedroom and me literally bouncing on. I just remember bouncing uncontrollably, having so much fun, laughing my fucking ass off with him. And I was just jumping and bouncing all over his bed while he's playing Halo. And then I was like, oh my God, my mouth's watering. I need to eat. I need to eat now. And we lived in we lived in an ingredient household. If you know what that is, or if you don't know what that is, it's when anytime you want to eat something in your house, you have to go make it. There isn't like a convenient snack to grab or like yum yum. There's not like a pack of Gushers or bag of chips or Why do I feel like I'm talking weird and I'm out of breath? Hold on. I'm not very impressed by the Stanley tumbler I chose, by the way. You guys know I struggled for about 2 months trying to pick out the color of my Stanley cup and the type of Stanley cup. Well, I went with the new 40-ounce flip straw model, okay? And something happened to my straw where it doesn't, I don't know, like air comes through it when I drink out of it. Okay, moving on. So there was a lot to eat in my house. You just had to make it. Okay. You had to make it. You had to put the ingredients together. And at the time, I didn't have time for that. Okay. We didn't have DoorDash. I couldn't call in maybe I could have called in a pizza, but out where we lived in the boonies, like sometimes it was hard to get a pizza delivered because of the location where we lived. So we weren't in those times where it's like, oh, let's just order food, you know? And the only thing available that I could find in the pantry was the Costco chocolate chip bag that we always had. We always had the giant fucking, 20-pound chocolate chip bag. And that's where things got really dark. And I'm just fisting my mouth. I'm fisting my fist. I am shoving fistfuls of chocolate chips into my mouth. No food, nothing has ever tasted so good in my life than those goddamn chocolate chips when I was stoned for the first time with my brother in our house, in our childhood home. I was like, wait a minute, why do these taste cold? Wait, this tastes so good. What the fuck? I couldn't stop eating them. It became like, okay, I need to. And did I have my eating disorder at that point? How old was I? No, this is maybe pre-eating disorder. Or right when it started. This was maybe a year before. I didn't really binge eat yet. Anyways, so yeah, that's the first time I got high. And then since then, you guys, honestly, right now, if you had asked me when's the last time you smoked weed, got high, I have no idea. I talk about, now I'm doing the 420 episode in the way I don't want to do it. So I think we should move on. You know that every now and then I'll get gummies and then have a gummy every night for a month, and then I won't do it again for a year. But yeah, I just think it's losery. Sorry. I think weed is losery. Or it's if you're getting high every single night, I'm kind of judgy of that. I don't know why I am though. I just think it's it's nice for sleep, I guess. It does help knock you out, but I don't like how it completely, drinking, I'm there, bitch. I'm in the room. I'm present. I know what's going on. I'm not on a different planet. I feel like getting stoned completely removes your brain from, you're hyper focused. I don't know. I just feel like I lose time and what's actually happening, where when I'm having a drink or two, I know what's going on and I'm there. And I don't like the feeling of just being zoned out and kind of what, you know. It's fun for watching a movie, laying on the couch, whatever, every now and then, but it's just not what I do. So sorry. I can't believe we made it to episode 420. 400 plus episodes is crazy anyways, but there's a lot to cover today. This could go in a lot of directions. I think I'm going to just do them all. Okay. We're going to cover everything from Jim Carrey's new face to Operation Epic Fury. Okay. We're going to talk about Jim Carrey looks maxing and the US war maxing and everything in between. So join me. Join me for a super casual, regular, normal episode where there isn't a topic that goes undiscussed, because there's been a lot since we last spoke happening in the world. And I'm a maximalist, as you know. I only put my heating pad on full blast. I only do everything I do is 100, 0. It's not, there's no in between. It's, what am I saying? It's 100 out of 100. back. Okay, so let's start off with the boring shit. Please hit that subscribe button. Am I high? Like, am I okay? Please, wait, no, I'll do this again because we need background music. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, all the places you listen to podcasts. I'm everywhere. I'm on like 50 new platforms apparently. I'm paying for that now, but I don't really know exactly which ones. But there's like apparently 50 more podcast platforms that I'm on. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe. Subscribe if you are on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. This is a video and audio podcast. We're back on Spotify video, by the way. The bigwigs at Spotify figured that out for me. They fixed it. So we're back on Spotify video. You can follow me, or you can watch my show on Spotify video and YouTube. And finally, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/TJMS. Patreon.com/TJMS. All right, let's get into it. So let me set the scene. It's March 2nd. It's Monday. It's 10:18 a.m. I didn't work out. I slept like 9 hours. Ate dumplings last night at 9 p.m. Actually, I'm lying to you because I didn't I went to bed at like 8. I had dumplings probably at 7:30. Salty dumplings. I tried those. I did the the lady on TikTok that puts the cheese in the sweet potato, Courtney Cook, her potato cheese thing. Well, she also puts dumplings in onions, like raw onion cups. And she puts mayo and all this other shit on it. And I tried that and it was pretty good. But last night I had them plain with just the soy sauce stuff and hot sauce. So I guess part of the scene setting today is that, yeah, we're puffy. We didn't work out. We're feeling fat. And yeah, it is what it is. The beverages we already talked about. Vanilla latte, hot. I put that Chobani creamer in my foamer on my, what's it called? My milk frother on my Brazil Barista Express. Shout out, Mom. Thank you for the coffee machine wedding gift. And I kind of blacked out. I talked about how you have to be careful with that Chobani creamer because it's the amount. There's definitely like 50 grams of sugar in this right now. So it's simultaneously waking me up and then also putting me to sleep and giving me diabetes. So that's cool. But yeah, I totally overdid the creamer, which is not typical. I don't do creamer in my coffee, especially I have a hot coffee today. Typically I only do that. I do creamer in an iced coffee. But whatever. So that's the drink, the hot drink. And then we have I already told you, my peach sparkling water in my Stanley cup that is so jacked up right now. I don't know what's going on with this flip straw. It's just not in alignment. Like it's out of alignment and it's so like, I don't know. Maybe I just need to get a new straw for it. But it does not spill. That's the thing. That's the reason why I got it. I wanted this size, but I didn't want this stupid normal Stanley straw that leaks everywhere. So I went with, the flip straw and whatever. Okay. I told you about my lip gloss dealer sending me lip gloss. Shout out, Mom. I am wearing Lawless Beauty Forget the Filler lip plumping line smoothing lip gloss in the shade Juicy Watermelon. This is the most beautiful lip gloss of all time. It's not sticky at all. I'm reapplying it. It's not sticky at all. It has a subtle flavor to it, but nothing too aggressive. It's like you can't really put your finger on what it. Does it taste like watermelon? Lasts a long time. I've had one of these before, a tube of it before, but I ran out and I totally forgot to like repurchase it. But my mom sent me this, and then I'm also double fisting. I'm double teaming or whatever I'm wearing 2 lip glosses today. I'm wearing the Rhode Peptide lip tint in the shade Jelly Bean, which is such a cute name. And yeah, the Rhode peptide lip tint hype is real. I feel like Hailey Bieber when I put it on, and who doesn't want to feel like Hailey Bieber? I love her. I love when like people can do no wrong. You know, those are like, what a great place to be in life, where you're so adored and you're so unproblematic. And I mean, that doesn't last forever, I guess. But with her, it's like, what a nice place to be. People just adore her. I adore her. I need to try more Rhode products. I want to try that, the milky glaze. And then the lip liner is my NYX lip liner in the shade Edge Pink. Skims top. Oh my God, I'm doing like the full fit, the full thing. Sorry, this is when we set the scene on the show. If you're a new listener, I set the scene. I describe the scene. Okay, like you can look at this all on camera. You can watch me on video if you want to join me while I describe this. Okay, Skims top in the cotton jersey fabric. These are the best tops, the long sleeve cotton jersey tops, because they're the perfect. Now it's warming up in San Diego. It was like 90 degrees yesterday. I was laying out and getting tan. But these are the best tops for, because our house, like, well, it gets colder during, I don't know, like it's hot outside, but the house is cold, has a little crispiness to it. So this is the perfect lounging around the house shirt where you feel put together, but it's, I don't know. It keeps me warm without being too warm. If I put on a sweatshirt, it's too much, but this is the perfect type of top you get the idea. I'm wearing a Lakers hat, and then the powder, the 5-in-1 Essence Primer Finish powder I always talk about for the upper lip while I'm podcasting so I don't look shiny on camera. Okay. I did bring my crazy Willy Wonka glasses today because it's episode 420, and am I feeling crazy? The truth is I'm not feeling crazy today. I'm not feeling crazy. To be honest, I'm not feeling energized. Yeah. Like, what month is it? It's March 2nd. Is March a throwaway month in my brain? What's March to me in my mind? March Madness, St. Patrick's Day, war. Spring's kind of springing. Spring is, daylight savings is next weekend. Like what does March do for me in my mind? The truth is hey, didn't hit the spin class before this episode. Didn't eat, I usually don't eat, but I just caffeinate. I'm feeling sluggish and slow and sorry. Okay. We'll still talk about, the war and, you guys literally, okay, I'm going to do life updates next, but I've got, Operation, what was it called? Epic Fury, the war in Iran so far, and the lore, because of course we need to brush up on the lore, and how we got here. Okay, we're gonna go back to the 50s in Iran, and we're gonna move all the way to present day, and I'm gonna do a refresh because I did an entire episode on I called it World War III. Am I okay? Sorry. It was called World War III for Dummies. The US, Israel, and Iran, featuring oil, nukes, and the CIA. I did an entire deep dive episode on it. And I talked about the history of Iran and like what happened before the current regime came in and how they even came into power in the first place. And I talk about the US's involvement. And anyways, so yeah, we're going to like recap that a little bit. I think it's important to know. It's important to have like a little bit of a history lesson instead of just seeing what's on TV and going like, ooh, rah, or like, fuck this. It's one or the other. You're like, ooh, rah, or fuck this. Isn't it ooh, rah? Is that what the military guys say? Ooh, rah. It's the Marine thing. Yeah, it's a famous high energy battle cry and motivational shout used by U.S. Marines to signify enthusiasm, affirmation, or camaraderie. Yeah, so I think that started back in the Korean War. Yeah, so you're either rah or fuck this about the current war happening in Iran. But whatever side you're on, just know that it's good to know the backstory, and everyone should know the backstory. So we're going to cover that today. Then we've got, yeah, sure. We'll talk about Little Punch. Sure. We'll touch on like some fun stuff. Little Punch. We've got the Sophia Franklin, her new book called Daddy Issues, that she just rolled out or came out with, or it's not out yet, but she wrote a book, and we're going to talk about that. Wrote a book hopefully about the drama between what happened with her and Alex Cooper when Call Her Daddy broke up back in, was that 2020? Was it 2020? I feel like it was. We're going to talk a lot about looks maxing today. We'll blend looks maxing with Jim Carrey, because that man is clearly not a clone. He is clearly a looks maxer. Okay. And I came out in the beginning of 2026 saying I'm leaning into looks maxing in 2026 and being dumb in 2026, because being hot and being smart. Okay. What did I say? The thing that has served me the best in life is being like, not hot and dumb, being smart. Like it does get you. I'm just going to delete this episode and restart it. I am at that point now where I'm like, what am I even saying? Everything is a joke. Everything is facetious. I'm never serious. Like I was like, I'm going to lean into being hot and dumb this year because I know, like, knowing what's going on in the world makes me feel crazy, and it makes me go insane because it's so terrible and corrupt and fucked up, and every week it's a new thing. And so I'm just going to lean into like not paying attention to any of that because it's breaking my brain and it's not good for me. So I'm going to lean into that, and then I'm going to lean into looks maxing because being attractive is I've gotten further in life from my looks than being smart. I made some sort of fucking joke about that. Moving on. Okay. We're going to talk about the lady that put her her underwear in the coffee pot in the hotel room. I think there's a lawsuit. I think she's getting sued for that. And then some fun like childhood things. Bill Gates, State of the Union, the cartel shit show thing that happened in Mexico. This is kind of all old news. Larry Ellison buying, or like the $111 billion Warner Brothers deal. What was it? Paramount bought them. And then did I mention Kash Patel and his girlfriend yet? Should we talk about Nancy too? Fuck it. I'll write Nancy here too. It's going to be a 9-hour episode. Hold on. So Nancy. Yeah. We're going to talk about Kash Patel. Yeah. But let's just start with the life updates. What have I been up to? How's life? How are you? You know what I mean? How's life and how are you? Time is moving so fast. I can't believe it's March. We say this every month of every year, but it's true. Like when I first met Corey, he was like, "Oh, time moves so fast. Like, moves so fast." And I always told him, like, I feel like it moves slow. Like, what are you, like, what? And I'm like, the more stuff you do, like the more busy you are, the more travel you do and the more activity, like the slower life feels. And he's like, no, that makes it feel faster. And I always fought him on that. And then now I'm officially saying all the time, like, time is moving so fast. But then I remember when I was locked up in prison, in the pandemic, in my stupid little 1-bedroom apartment that was very cute. But when I was in the darkness of hell during the pandemic, collecting unemployment, sitting on the couch, ordering burritos, watching endless TV. I mean, I was just watching every fucking Netflix show that existed at that point. I remember thinking, time moves slow. And I think that's why I thought time moves slow, but it's like, no way, no shit, bitch. Every day is the same day. You're not doing anything. The days feel so long and they drag out because you're just like doing nothing with your life. So, but now that I'm doing more and my life is more full and blah, blah, blah. Time is moving fast as fuck and it needs to slow down. So, all right, let's get into the life updates. Let's actually start the show and get things rolling. How many minutes are we in now? Okay, we'll start off with this. I went to the dentist and I got my teeth cleaned. I love the dentist. Okay, we don't talk about the dentist on here. I never really bring up the dentist, but I love the dentist. I love getting my teeth cleaned. Feels like a massage. I don't understand why people hate the dentist or get scared of the dentist. I know if you have a lot of work done and you need a lot of fillings and root canals or whatever they do, like that can be more dramatic and maybe more painful and scary, but a general cleaning is so nice. My mouth, oh my God, I love, okay, I don't like the sound of when they scrape your teeth with that pick. That I don't love. Because they start off with this supersonic, I feel like it's not a laser beam, but what the fuck is it? It's like is it a tool or is it like I almost feel like it's hypersonic or supersonic water they shoot in there and it like gets off the plaque. They start with that and then they start picking your teeth. But I had a clean bill of health, no cavities. I do have a filling. When's my appointment? I think it's next week. I have a filling they're going to replace because I have a silver filling on one of my molars. And they're like, how old are you? And I told them my age and they're like, wait, what? Why would you have this? You shouldn't have this. And I'm like, is this a California thing? Like, I don't know if this is what they do up in Washington to kids when I grew up, but I have a silver filling that's like it's time for it to be replaced basically. And that's the only thing I have to get fixed. But yeah, I went to the dentist. It was great. I love the dentist. Okay, moving on. We watched the America's Next Top Model documentary. What was it called? I forget the name, like the specific name of it. But oh my God, I love Jay Alexander, Miss J, right? Miss J Alexander, Jay Manuel. Jay Manuel is so what an angel. Like of a man. Like him, all of them. Nigel. Fucking Nigel. All of them. It was like watching the documentary and seeing them all these years later. I was like, oh my gosh, what sweethearts. All of those guys are such sweethearts. And I really enjoyed the documentary. Obviously, it was exposing some things about Tyra that weren't so savory. They made her kind of look bad, which I guess when I was watching her interviews, I'm like, I kind of sniffed something out about her that I didn't pick up on when I watched the show growing up. I feel like maybe something's going on there, but the whole friendship breakup between Jay Manuel, am I saying that right? Jay and Manuel? Am I saying manual like a car manual? Manuel? Jay Manuel. Gorgeous. Fucking Ken doll. Like perfect skin, perfect facial hair, perfect everything. He's such a stunning human being. He's the most beautiful man I've ever seen. Jay Manuel. Why can't I say Manuel? The most gorgeous. Nigel's next to him though. Okay, Nigel has the dreamy eyes and the dreamy like vibe. He's British, whatever. But Jay Manuel is just, and he has such a heart of gold. You can just tell he's like all three of them, especially Miss J. And he she had a stroke or had something happen. Miss J Alexander. Let me just make sure. If you're going by Miss J, you're a she, right? Oh, they're saying his work on, okay, his work. Yeah, anyways, all of them are just great and just gold. Just sometimes you watch documentaries or you watch TV shows or no, like reality stuff. I can do this episode. Maybe I should have gotten stoned so I would be more fun right now. And I feel like I'm fucking boring. And we're about to talk about war. And is that going to be an eye roll thing? Like, you're just trying to like, oh my God. There are so many dumb bitches on TikTok and online that the day we fucking take out Khomeini or whatever, like, or like there's a war in Iran and we fucking blow shit up. They're like so dramatic, like coming online. And these are the psycho feminists, by the way. Now we're off topic. These are the most like psycho feminist women anyways, like that are so pro women, women's rights, da, da, da. And it's like they're crying about that. How can you be pissed off at this right now? Sorry. Like you can, because yeah, we don't want war. We don't want war. I get it. But isn't this like one of the most positive things for the women in Iran that could have happened? Isn't this the best case scenario for them? And here you are being dramatic, like, oh, we're back to war. They're just so retarded. I don't know. Like so many people are and then they do the whole like Epstein file switch up where they're like, this is, or they bring that up. They're like, what a distraction, or like from the Epstein files. Like we'll get there. I don't want to get too fired up now, but anyways, America's Next Top Model documentary was fabulous, and I grew up on that show, watched every single season. Did it contribute to my body image issues as a young girl? At the time, I don't think I knew that it did, but looking back, I'm like, damn. The kinds of the commentary on the women's bodies was so, it was like overly honest and brutal. Like, and yet it was confusing because Tyra's like, oh, I want to create a show where we portray all different types of beauty and bodies because the industry is so cookie cutter and da-da-da. And at the same time, she's like, lose some weight, bitch. Like you're too, like, sorry, we exist in this industry where it's very cutthroat and you have to like look a certain way because if you don't fit the sample size, like you don't have a job. Like, so it was confusing. And then they had the one plus size girl, who ended up, and she wasn't even, I mean, plus size is so, what do they call it? Not plus size, full size. What do they call it? There's another term for it. And she ended up winning. So it was really messed up. Like the whole like gap teeth of it all, closing up the gap teeth, and then the next season it was like, we like your gap teeth. But I think something's up with Tyra. I don't know what. What does she seem like? I don't want to be like she's like sociopath or like narcissist. I don't want to like die. I don't want to say anything, but I just wasn't, the thing I didn't understand. Let me get back to J Manuel. And him leaving the show after, what was it, like 8 seasons, and writing her an email, and she writing, and her writing back, I'm disappointed. And then her being fake to him on set when he came back, because they were gonna, what's it called, blacklist him, so he couldn't work. They threatened that, and then so he came back to the show, and then when they're on set filming, she would be fake nice to him on camera, and then cold shoulder him and not give him the time of day. And I'm like, what happened? Like, she took it so personal that he wanted to leave the show and move on with his career or whatever, and to the point where like she didn't even want to talk about it on the documentary. It's like she created something in her mind and took it seemed like a power thing. Like she wanted power over him, and then when he wanted to step away, she was so threatened by that but it's so dumb because I'm like, you guys were dogs. Like you guys were hanging out all the time. Like you guys were having slumber parties and shit. I don't know. They were like really close. And then she got all weird. And then it really made her look, as the seasons of America's Next Top Model continued, things got a little more cuckoo. Because she's got a big personality. Tyra's always been that way. But yeah, it exposed a side to her that I wasn't really like, I never sniffed out. And it was because I was younger, you know. Now I know now I know more. But something was off with her in the documentary, and I'm like, well, it seems like it's all in her head. Like that's how most people that are off are. It's like, dude, this is all in your head. Look how lovely these men are when they're interviewed. See, that's the thing. It's such a juxtaposition when you're watching the Jays and watching Nigel. Who else was interviewed? All the models were interviewed. Oh, the poor models. That was the craziest part when they're like, hey, we go through this America's Next Top Model process. We win thinking, oh, we're going to get all these amazing deals and we're going to work and we're going to be models. But that was used against them in the industry. And then Tyra wouldn't vouch for them and wouldn't help like fix that problem. She wouldn't advocate for them or, you know, when they needed her. And she would admit to that all these years later. I think it was Danielle, one of the ones that she was like it was cool to see them grown up, the models, like all these years later. And they're all like, some of them, they're all beautiful, but it's like some of them like almost got even more beautiful. It's like, holy shit. I guess that's on the aesthetics industry and fucking Botox now and shit that they weren't doing back in the day. But yeah. So we watched that. Okay, like moving on. We have a lot to cover. Did I finish America's Next Top Model in my brain? Did we cover everything? Yeah. We watched a little bit of the love story documentary about Carolyn Bessette and John F. Kennedy Jr. And it's great. I'm liking it so far. That's a part of history that I don't know a lot about because when they died in the plane crash, I was like 4 years old. Maybe I was younger than that. I don't know what year was that, 99? I was really young, and it wasn't a part of history that I ever really even heard about all these years later. But yeah, I think the actress Sarah Pidgeon, Carolyn Bessette, she's played by Sarah Pidgeon, and I think she's an amazing actress, and I think the blonde hair suits her so well. Like I think she's naturally a brunette. She always has dark hair, but that shows make me want to go blonde. I will say that I kind of miss being bleach blonde. Because there's something about her hair in the show. Everyone's obsessed with Carolyn Bessette, everything now, and especially her hair and the way she carries herself and the way just her class and her vibe and everything. And, you know, she's the new, like, who was everyone's obsession like a couple years ago? Like, who was, it wasn't Carol, okay, not Carolyn Bessette. There was someone else. It's always like fucking Kate Moss and shit, but who are we obsessed with? It was like, okay, the old money aesthetic, but who was the queen of that? Like, who was it? Sophia Richie? Wasn't it her? That was like our obsession, and now it's like Carolyn Bessette. It's like a segue from the old money thing, but into like this, I don't know, this New York 90s old money, classy boss bitch thing. I don't know. It's just another one of those. It's just another trend of like, oh, you're giving Carolyn Bessette, or like, but who was the old money bitch? Was it Sophia Richie when she got married and she, I feel like it was her, but there's another, who from the past do people kind of idolize before Carolyn Bessette? Like who were like a year ago? Like who are we? I feel like there was just someone. It's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, I haven't seen all the episodes, but I think they idolize their relationship and they idolize Carolyn and how she perfectly played the game to get JFK Jr. And I think at the end of the day, where I'm at is the games, right? Like, yeah, I think their relationship it was like all chemistry, and they weren't actually a good match because they fought a lot. And when there's a lot of chemistry and there's a lot of games, and cat and mouse and stuff, I don't think that has longevity. Like those things that usually burns out quickly, in my experience, at least. Like that doesn't get you anywhere. Where when two people are more earnest and honest and straightforward about liking the other person and liking each other, and they're not playing games about that, I think that it feels better. Like it honestly doesn't make you feel like shit all the time. And I think that has longevity and that goes further. But sure, I like her diva attitude and her fucking like the one-liners towards John, where she's just like, you know, not giving him her number and being, what do you call it? Like more aloof and less thirsty, because all the women around him, his experience with women is they just throw themselves at him, where she was like, no, I'm not gonna give a shit and I'm gonna act like I don't care, and that's gonna make him want me more. But she also, I think at the time, they both were in relationships when they met or something. I forget, or he did. There's a lot of like, I feel like cheating and bullshit. But again, when the chemistry is that crazy, I feel like it always comes with a lot of drama and stupid games. And there's the infamous fight in Central Park, I think, where she beat the shit out of him. I don't know. I'm still learning about the CBK, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, JFK Jr. lore. But clearly the reason they died was because of his, what would you call it? His, not arrogance, but, it's like he thought he could fly that plane. I don't know. Was the whole situation with the plane where he, ended up crashing it? Was it because he didn't, the instructor, like the pilot he usually flew with, didn't come with him, and so he's like, I can do this myself? I think he just kind of felt like an untouchable, like he can just do, like, I don't know, do no wrong in life. Like nothing had consequences in his life. I don't know. What do you call that when you're just on it's like a man in his ego kind of, and that ultimately got them killed. I don't care how much I trust a man. Like if they're fucking flying a plane alone because the instructor didn't show up, I'm not going. I'm sorry. Like yeah. But so yeah, we're going to keep watching it, but so far I'm really liking it. I just have a few more life updates. Sorry. Shit. Dude, what's today? This is Giving Monday. Like this is so like, it's a Monday. I'm not all here mentally, physically, spiritually. Yeah. Well, I think when we start talking about Iran and what's going on, I might. And also the life updates are fucking boring. Like for example, life update, we can't stop buying ice cream and ordering ice cream every night. And we just cannot stop. It was last week, it was 4 nights in a row. DoorDash ice cream 4 nights in a row. And I'm like, every fucking time we order it, it's $45 or something. And then it's to the point where I'm like, we're in a bad phase with ice cream. We're in a really bad phase. Typically we eat dinner and we brush our teeth and we go to bed. It's like not a big deal to like dessert is like, we don't need it. We don't care. We're not thinking about it. Maybe we'll shove a can of whipped cream down our throat and call it a night. You know, like that. There's always like a can of whipped cream in the fridge. We'll like do a couple of those. Okay, we had our dessert, or we'll pop in a piece of dark chocolate that's in the back of the pantry that's been there for God knows how long. And it's like, okay, that'll give me my sweet fix right now. So yeah, the fact we're on this like crazy ice cream kick, and it's to the point where I'm like bored of Baskin Robbins. I'm like, it's all starting to taste the same. Like every time we order it, I'm like, I'll get a new flavor, I'll switch it up. And I'm like, I'm like over Baskin Robbins, and then we'll like do Cold Stone instead. So yeah, we can't stop ordering ice cream. What other like food things are we like in a phase of right now? I don't know. Corey's been cooking a lot of ground beef with lots of turmeric, and I never use turmeric. And I'm like, okay, like I can get into this. I forget how good turmeric is in food, especially like beef. But yeah, like he's making a lot of ground beef, like every other boy. There's articles now about like men are eating dog food, but instead of, it's like they call it dog food, but it's just like a bunch of ground beef. Like that's how, yeah. Okay, life update. I cut Jimmy's nails for the first time since he was a puppy. Yeah, like that's a huge life update because his nails are so fucking long, and I'm so, but they aren't to the point where I know it's a problem when they get in the way of them walking, and they break, and they break and bleed, and they get all fucked. No, it's not like that. They're just eagle talons. Okay. My golden retriever had eagle talons since he was a puppy, because anytime I would try to trim his nails, he would bite my head off. So it was always a thing with him trying to trim them. And I do the grooming. He doesn't go to the groomers. He's never been to the groomers. I feel like that'd be a nice treat for him, because he loves going in the bath. That's his favorite thing ever. Like he loves getting shampooed and massaged, and he loves it. He'll just sit in there, and he knows the word too. Like it doesn't matter where we are in the house. He could even be playing in the backyard, and I'll be like, Jimmy, bath time. And he'll literally go run in our bath, in our shower. So he loves it. But the other day he was sleeping on the couch. I was on the phone with my mom, and shout out, I know you're listening right now. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try this right now. So I started trimming all of his paw hairs, like really short. I started with that. And then, because I follow a lot of golden retriever accounts, like half the accounts I follow are golden retrievers. Like I just love golden retriever accounts. And there's so many cute ones that look like literal teddy bears. And they always have the cutest little perfectly manicured paws and toenails. And I don't know, I was just in the spirit of like, let me just try this out. So I trimmed all of the hair, got it really nice and short. And then his nails were hanging out. And I was like, he's so relaxed right now. What if I just took, because I have clippers. I have every kind of clipper. I've tried everything. I have the one that sands, it's like an electronic one that sands them down. And I have like the actual clippers, and I have everything. So those are like the only two I have. But like I've got an electronic option, and I've got a fucking manual option. And he was peacefully sleeping. I'm on the phone, and I just go for it. And he doesn't, nothing, no growling, no nothing. And I realized like, okay, he's so chill right now. He kind of doesn't know what's happening, and he's not scared of the clippers. Cause he used to be scared where if I even walked in the room with them, he would run away. So I don't know. He definitely matured out of that to the point where now I can just I've done it. I did every single front toenail, and now I did this over the last couple of days. I did the back toenails, and he kind of like paws at me. He doesn't love it, but he'll let me do it, which is really sweet. He's 5 now, but he looks like he's 14. I'm so worried every time. I'm like, wait, why does his face, why did it go gray so early? Like, is this a sign of a health problem, like an underlying health problem? What is this? I every time I look it up and we've talked to the vet about it and they're like, no, this is just Jimmy. Some dogs, they go gray early. Okay. Final life update. Moving on. This is it. And it's like kind of becoming a broken record at this point, and I'm sick of talking about it. I wish this would resolve. The neighbor's lawn, you guys. Nothing has been done. To this day, it is just getting, the weeds are getting taller. It's getting so bad, and it looks so wrong on our street because every other home on my street, there's a couple like kind of, they're like something, it's not that they don't landscape. It's just that there's like, I don't know, there's like some weird people on my street. But then this house stands out because it's a brand new house and the fucking front lawn. It's just like, there's like shit everywhere. It's not shit everywhere, but it's like things are just not kept nice. There's always like a box on the front step that needs to be thrown away, or like trash, or like the weeds are just getting taller and taller and taller. And I'm like, at what point do you say something? Or like, I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I know there's worse problems in the world, obviously, but that really irks me. Do I have any other like, okay, last week I yelled, I'm going to fall asleep. I'm literally falling asleep. Sorry. I yelled, or I said, enemy of the show, or what did I say? Things we hate on the show is people that film other people at the gym. I posted that clip on TikTok. It got some traction, but people are like, then don't go to the gym, or like, don't like go outside. Like, I don't know. I still stand firm in what I said about how people that film other people at the gym without their permission are the most selfish, classless, most tacky, arrogant people around. Like, they're the worst type of people, because I just think it says a lot about you when you think you can go about your business, go about your day, and just subject people to your content like that. And it's like, you don't even have the courtesy to ask if it's okay, or like try to not do it. It's when they don't even try to not do it. And it's always like the same chicks, the same psycho chicks that scream about like fucking the war and like, this is the worst thing that could possibly ever happen, and oh my God, and blah blah, are the same ones that they're like the hot chick they're like dumb and ditzy, and they'll like take this selfie of like, all they care about is themselves and their body and like looking perfect. And then there's like a troll, kind of like mid-sized, maybe kind of chubbier chick behind them, just like picking up a weight. But they're too concerned about how they look. They don't even consider. And then they fucking post it. That's what I have a problem with. It's like no consideration. But since we last spoke, have I been at the gym, and has that been a thing? Have I had to call a bitch out in a week since we last talked? No, but what are my workouts right now? Oh, spin class. Yeah, I like keep taking my stupid spin class that I can't. I love spin. I love spin class. And I also started doing abs, and I never do abs. And literally, oh my God, it's like it's like, sometimes it's like, duh. I do my ab workout. And like later that day, I'm looking in the mirror, I pull up my shirt, and I'm like, I have a fucking six pack. Like, sometimes working out your abs actually gives you a six pack. Like, who knew? I always fought it because I'm like, I don't want my abs to get thick and bulky. Like, I don't want to, but I did all those deep core ab exercises where it's not like you're crunching and building like the muscle of the ab. You're like doing the deep ones. I called Corey and I FaceTimed him. I'm like, I have abs. Like, I'm full, like, we're back. Like, we're fucking back. But yeah, so I'm like actually doing ab workouts again, which is really, I don't know. It's not that bad. It's always a thing though. It's like you do your workout and it's like, okay, now I'm going to go do abs. And it's like, I just finished working out. Like, this is the last thing I want to do. That's why if you do like a Pilates class, it's an all-in-one thing. You do the whole workout and you're hitting abs the whole time. So it's like, yeah. All right. So I'm trying to think anything else. It's kind of it. Same old, same old, honestly. So the situation going on in Iran right now is pretty simple. We're basically like, hey, Iran, stop enriching uranium. You are not allowed to have a nuke. Okay. And they've been negotiating, and Israel and the US have been negotiating with Iran, and they're not budging. Okay. Our red line, our hard line is you are not allowed to have a nuke. Okay. And they did not make a deal with us. That did not happen. Okay. And now Khomeini is dead. And now every leader of everything, every military, I don't know how many they took out. Like there's a whole list of every powerful person running shit over there is dead. Okay. And we're bombing the shit out of them. And Operation Epic Fury it's fucking lit. Okay. It's going down. And I guess, Pete Hegseth, director of war, the Lord of War in the US. Is it Hegseth? Pete Hegseth. Okay. I don't know how I feel about him. I watched him talk during the press conference today about this. And I do like what he said. Because when it comes to war and like going to war, as an American citizen, I'm like, who's running shit? Who's in charge? Do I trust them? Okay. Like, do I feel confident in their leadership? But what I do like, okay, Pete, what I do like, I can do this. I do like that Pete said that this isn't going to be another Iraq, another Afghanistan that's going to be drawn out for decades. Like he's basically saying like, we're smarter than that now. Okay. This administration, we're smarter than that. We're better than that. This isn't going to be some drawn out thing. Okay. So my worry, and I know it's your worry, is like, how long does this go? Like, are we just at war for another 10 years now? Are we just going, is this going to be some long drawn out thing? And my gut feeling, just from the vibes, is that, okay, we took out their supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Is it Ali Khamenei, or is that the former? Khomeini. We took him out. We took everyone out. And now the people can elect a new person, but it's like, I don't know how that process works. There's a few things I'm blurry on. Okay. Because you guys, look, I am semi coming with information, and I'm going to inform and entertain, but I'm also going to sort of talk out of my ass because this part's a little blurry. I'm like, okay, Khomeini's out. All the other military heads of the military, all the other top dogs of Iran who were in charge, they're out, they're killed. So I'm like, all right, the people are dancing in the street. The people are happy because the people, if you didn't know, were just protesting because their fucking cost of living, their everyday life has been hell. Okay, so they just protested late December, early Jan, and it's not confirmed, but the reports are in the up to 40,000, excuse me. Biggest massacre in Iran's history, biggest protest since the Islamic Revolution in 79. People massacred, people died. Okay. And this wasn't, I feel like people were talking about it on social media. I would see like people I follow, okay, they were posting about it, but I don't think this is widely covered. So that just happened. So of course, people are dancing, people are cheering, but the blurry thing for me is, okay, well, not everyone was happy about this. Not everyone in Iran is happy about this. What about the people that loved the Ayatollah and the regime and were supportive of it and are the more conservative ones, the ones that are the more religious people? And then what about the military? Okay, it's like if all of their if everyone calling the shots is dead, pretty much everyone, it sounds like that's what happened. And obviously the supreme leader, then are they just chickens with their heads cut off? Like, are they just going to throw Hail Marys and bomb everything they can just as a last resort right now? Like, who's running the show? And what I don't know about Iran is there official military? Is there like a cartel within Iran, like the fucking Taliban? Like, is that are more radicalized? Okay, are they going to pop off now? Because Iran's military, it's like you got the regular military, but are they all like death to America, or is it the more radicalized sub-military that's like death to America? That's the part I don't understand. Okay, but let's get back to the history and like kind of how we got here and move to and we'll go back in time all the way to present day. By the way, Operation Midnight Hammer, I believe, didn't get everything. Okay, I think when we went in with the B-2s, are they the B-2s? The bombers. Remember we talked about the bombers. That was my hyperfixation for a while after I learned that there's like beds in these things and toilets, and they have like a fucking concession stand, and they can like, like, you know, the guys are like flying over the entire, like 50 countries, are crossing the world, and they're like eating Cheetos, and they're like taking naps in between bunker busting or whatever, the bombs. They like bomb the bunkers, bomb the uranium facilities, whatever. Apparently that didn't get everything. It disarmed or it delayed production of the nuke, but allegedly, I'm not sure, I don't know for sure. I need to start saying allegedly more on the show. Didn't get everything. Okay, they're still on the way. It's like they've been days away from having a nuke for it's like every day fucking Netanyahu, Trump, whatever. They're days away from having a nuke, from having a nuclear weapon. And it's like they've been saying that for so long, where it's like, okay, at the end of the day, and then these are my suspicions too. War is all about money, right? And like, does Lockheed Martin, are they struggling right now? Like, is this just all about like, they need to be paid up, right? They need money. Like, because it's always about money. It's always about money. War is always about money. So I'm like, okay, yes, it looks like we have a heart and we're helping the Iranian people because we're like, okay, we're taking out the supreme leader who's like torturing women to death and like authorizing live fire at these protests, like on all of the people protesting, to the point where it's like thousands are being sprayed and killed and murdered. And it's like, fuck, it's like hell. Okay. Is that why we're doing it? Like, is that the why behind it? And is it also, okay, they are not allowed to have a nuke, but like, are they really that close to having a nuke? Because it seems like they've been close to having a nuke forever now. And they're not allowed to do that. Like, what's our motive, you know? And then I'm like, okay, but then people are like, and I'm saying money, right? I'm like, the war companies building all of the drones and the jets and the bombs, and like, they need to stay in business. Okay. Like, war, you need war. They need war in order to stay in business. Okay. And what did I say in my episode when I did the deep dive? I was like, Raytheon is like Sephora. Wait, what did I say for the Pentagon? Raytheon is Sephora for the Pentagon. I said something like, I made an analogy. Yeah, they like go shopping at Raytheon and like buy a bunch of fucking. Anyways, so then I go to the money side, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Yep. And no, I'm not like, wait a minute. The public are like, wait a minute. This is a distraction from the Epstein files. Now, what I want to propose to you, if that's where your small pea-brained, tiny little internet brain rot brain is at, what I want to propose to you is that multiple things can be happening at once. And yes, timing makes this look like it's a massive distraction from the Epstein files. Like, yes, but also you have to understand that they've been working on this deal behind the scenes while the Epstein shit has been happening. Okay. It's all going on at the same time. And you could argue, yeah, well, now that the public's like, what the fuck? What's going on with the Epstein files? Like, why isn't anyone getting arrested? Why are they not investigating this? Why is Kash Patel at the fucking in Milan chugging beers with the hockey team and not fucking putting people behind bars for the Epstein files and finding Nancy Guthrie? Like, blah, blah, blah. You know, you could argue that like this is a convenient next step to get people from bitching about that. But that is so, if you really like, come on, like, let's all be adults right now. I know a lot of the way the world is run is not very mature, like adult level maturity anyways. So I understand how that could be a possibility in your brain. But my gut is that this has been a thing for a long time. And Trump is the only president with the balls to do it. Like that's straight up what it is. Like he's the only one that's going to do it. Obama didn't. No one else did it. Fucking Biden. I mean, what did Biden do? Look how Biden fucking pulled out of Afghanistan. Do you guys remember that shit show? So if anyone's going to do it and give the Iranian people a chance, it's Trump. And so, yeah, the timing is sus. You could say that when it comes to the Epstein files, but you have to understand, I don't know if the number is confirmed. It's interesting because the Iranian government said 3,000 people were murdered during the protests. And then there's reporting all the way up to 40,000. I'm leaning towards the 40,000 based on what I've seen on social media and just, I mean, it was a massacre. Okay. And it was in a short amount of time. I want to say this happened literally like 40,000 people died. I don't like throwing numbers around. I don't want to lose credibility. So I don't want to say this. If it was really 20,000, if it was really 50, it's a fuck ton of people who were murdered in these protests. Okay. 3,000 is still too many, but you have to understand that just happened. And these poor people have been under Islamic rule and since 79, right? And they've been, and especially the women, you want to talk, well, I'm going to cover like the specifics with life as a woman in Iran under the Ayatollah and the regime. Like, it's fucking hell. They don't want it. There's a number like over 80% of Iranians don't want this. They don't want this regime. They want it out. And so but there again, okay, there are people that want it. So that's the part that's like, okay, well, fuck the US for getting involved when this doesn't, and I get that. It's like Trump ran on, I'm not the war president. I'm not going to start new wars. I'm not going to, and here we are. And I get it. Like, we don't want this. We don't want to go to war. But back to what I said about this getting dragged out and going on for months and months and months and years, and now we're in a war with Iran, and now it's fucking World War III, and maybe Russia's getting involved, and fucking China, and worst case scenario, by the way, like that cannot happen. My feeling, and based on what Pete said, our God of War, our Lord of War in the US, I'm feeling like this is going to be a month. I'm feeling like it's going to be a month. I don't know how they democratically elect a new person when, like, what leadership's even there right now to even put that together? I don't know how that can happen do you know what I mean? So yeah, but they retaliated. They've been bombing back. They've been bombing Dubai and Bahrain. Was it Bahrain? I think it was Bahrain. Where's that? Bahrain. Yeah. So we've lost some guys. They've obviously lost some guys. It's not pretty. War isn't pretty. We don't want this. But I think this is the best case scenario. And you have to make hard decisions when you're a president. You have to make really difficult decisions that are going to affect a lot of people in a terrible way. But when I think about weighing out the options of, okay, if we didn't do this versus if we did do this, the Iranian, okay. And people, they make a big stink about like, okay, well, if you believe this, if you're like on the free Iran side, if you're on that side of things, you got by the propaganda and da 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 da. But at the end of the day, like when 80%, when you go to the people of Iran and like what they want, and you look at the numbers and you look at the suffering and you look at this protest they just did where thousands of people were massacred, it's like, it sounds like this is the best thing for them. And sorry, I know you disagree with the US getting involved in other people's shit around the world. Like, I know we don't love that, okay? And if you know anything about history and our involvement in Iran, which we're going to cover, it's a little sus whenever we get involved, okay? Especially when it comes to regime change. We tend to be, we tend to sometimes fuck it up for everyone. And in the case of Iran and in the past, when we appointed the Shah, or when we went in and overthrew their prime minister, when we ran Operation Ajax with the UK, their intelligence, we basically, it ended up fucking it up for Iran in the long term, and that's when things switched to Islamic. Switched it to become an Islamic State. So yeah, I understand, like, yeah, we shouldn't be involved, but it's like, they can't have a nuke. Number one, that's our red line. Number two, these poor people, and we have the ability to do something about it. And I don't know, like, I sound maybe stupid for thinking that. Could they have worked it out themselves? I don't think so. Like, I'm trying to think of a world where they could have worked it out themselves. I mean, they tried to protest and overthrow their government. Look what happened, you know? So praying for our troops, praying for the people of Iran, praying for the families in the US, military families right now. I know that Trump's like, yeah, people are going to die. He did say that. I don't think this is going to drag out. I think this is it's a specific, like, because what else do they have to bomb and fuck up for this to be, like, for the war to be over? You know what I mean? But if they retaliate, but then I'm like, so yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it fully, but I do not believe this will be another Iraq, another Afghanistan. Like, I don't, because they're like, it's like day one, we get the guy. That's where I'm at. Like, day one, we take him out. Like, that was so fast. Like, we literally just, that's the solution right there. Take out the fucking Ayatollah Khomeini guy, the supreme leader. But then now, is it like a hornet's nest that you just fucking bombed, and now they're like, fuck the US, death to America 10 times, even more, and they're just gonna, but, and then it's scary because, you know, they're talking about it's gonna be dangerous in this country, the sleeper cells, and da-da. So it's like very, there's a lot coming out right now, a lot of news, a lot of uncertainty, but I think it's a net positive. But then it's like this. We did what we did. Now it's like, get the fuck out. We can't keep staying involved. That's the thing with the US. Oh, okay. That's where I'm at. I'm like, we did what we did. It's like, this cannot be, our hand can't be in the pot for too long over there. They need to resolve it amongst themselves. And that's what Trump said. He said that he's like, to the Iranian people, like, he basically was like, go elect someone that you like, go you know? So anyways, let's talk about the history of Iran and how we got here, because I think it's important to understand that this started back in 1953 when the CIA and British intelligence ran Operation Ajax. And like I said, that's when we overthrew their democratically elected prime minister. We basically looked at the situation. We're like, he's nationalizing oil and he's too independent and we can't have this. And so we basically went in. It was a little, I mean, this shit's so shady when you think about it. Like us looking at another country and being like, you know, we don't like this guy. We don't like what they're doing. We don't like what they're doing with their oil and their money and their power and da-da-da. So we're just going to go in and do a little like side door action. We're going to get you overthrown, and then we're going to put someone in that we do like, who's a pro-Western guy. So basically they overthrew the prime minister at the time in 1953, and they put in the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. They put him back in power, and he aggressively westernized Iran to the point where this is when you would see women on the beach in bikinis, and there was nightlife, and Tehran looked like the Real Housewives of Tehran. It was very glamorous looking, and women looked obviously like they were more free and full of life than they do, you know, than they post the Islamic Revolution. So the thing about this was the oil money was concentrated at the top, and, you know, there's massive inequality. Oil money is concentrated at the top, and inflation exploded. And then something that people don't know, it wasn't like this utopia where, oh, Iran is free and the women are in bikini. Everyone talks about like the women were in bikinis, and there was like shopping malls and like, not shopping malls, like they still have that even, but it was more Western. Okay. You can imagine what a Western, like the US. Okay. It was more reminiscent of a country. Like people compared it to, I believe, the Mediterranean. That's how Iran looked at the time. This is like the 60s and 70s. But the Shah had a secret police. And if you criticized the government and what they were doing, he had a secret police force. They're called like the Navac or something. Savac? I forget. And they would torture and arrest you. So that was some fuck shit. Okay. So it wasn't this like utopia, right? And then the other side of when the Shah was in power, the not so great side, was that it alienated the conservatives of Iran, the people that were more religious and more traditional, and they weren't so hyped on their country turning into a Western vibe. Okay. Trying to make this simple. They didn't like the vibes, the Western vibes. They wanted the more religious, traditional, they wanted their country to be more like what it was, more conservative, more, yeah. Okay, so 79. People get radicalized. They're like, fuck this shit. We're poor. Inflation's through the roof. It didn't happen since 53. A new guy comes in because there's the Islamic Revolution, and they replace the Shah with Ayatollah, not to be confused with Khomeini. I'm so confused. Were these guys like related? And Ayatollah means sign of God, or they're a religious cleric. They're like a religious leader, but they also are like the president of the United States. And they're like, that's their power in the country, but it's a theocratic leader. It's not Yeah. So this is when they blend religion. What do you call it? Religion and state, which is what we do not do here in this country, which is a big bonus. Okay, so the Shah had cancer. So he didn't like get murdered during the Islamic Revolution. He actually fled. He fled to Egypt, Morocco. He was world traveling, the Bahamas, the US for his cancer treatment. He ultimately died in 1980 from lymphoma. So the Shah's out. Ayatollah Khomeini is in. And then within a year, Iran became a theocratic state governed by Islamic law. So what does that mean? It's pretty much what you think of when you think of Iran and how they live there. So women were, but understand that women were highly educated. So just because they're wearing a hijab and they have all of these strict rules they have to live by, they were still educated. They were still doctors, lawyers, engineers. They could still vote. They could still drive cars. Okay. But there is wearing the hijab is mandatory. They can't leave the country without their husband's permission. They can't travel without their husband's permission. Their husband can be like, no, you can't go, can't do, like they have the say over where they can travel. Something else that's interesting is if something happens to a woman and she goes to court and she testifies, it's only counted as half of a man's testimony. So like it's only worth half. So her testimony has less weight to it. Obviously the no singing, they can't sing solo in front of mixed genders. Like you can only sing solo to just women, but then you're not even allowed to sing. I don't know the singing part specifically, but let's just say no singing, dancing, the whole thing is so fucking weird. It's like, for what, it's easy for me to say living over here, obviously, but, so they're active in society. The women are active in society. When Iran became a theocratic state governed by Islamic law, they're still active in society, but they're under a strict legal framework with potentially deadly consequences. Okay, we all know about the woman whose hair was like barely showing under her hijab or whatever, and she was beaten to death. So it can be very scary to be a woman in Iran. I've been watching a lot of Iranian women and online talking about life there and what it's like, and women who fly, like the girls that live in the US that have gone back and forth, and they say like the second they get off the plane, they're just anxious and they can never relax and never feel safe. And so not a great place for women. So to all my really I won't call you psycho feminists, but you kind of are, like pro women out there, this was the best thing for them. Like this, you can't even, and for yourself, because how could you support the existence of, like the continued existence of a regime that is chanting death to America, that wants you dead? How would you ever be? I don't understand how anyone could ever be in support of that. So there's that. This is the best thing for you. And then also for women, right? Like the women of Iran, like, but multiple things can be true. I believe that. And I'm also like, I hate that we have to get involved in this shit. I don't like that we get involved. We got involved in 53 and it backfired. Like, but in this case, I think it's not like the US is doing a conniving operation like Operation Ajax, where they're intentionally trying to put in a new person that's going to westernize. I hope that's not what's going on. I don't know who their new leader is going to be, but I hope they are democratically elected by the people of Iran, and we have nothing to fucking do with it. We just did the heavy hitting work of eliminating their supreme leader. Like we're like, that's where we come in, and then we dip out. Okay. But I don't understand fully how war works, but I feel like the second one of Iran's allies gets involved and starts fucking shit up with, towards us, I don't know. I mean, Putin just didn't he make a statement like, we'll remember Khomeini as a great statesman and as a great guy, basically, like, yeah. So it's kind of, but I don't see that happening. That would be World War III. Like, let's be honest. But we've been talking, if you think about it, we've been talking about war in Iran and this potentially happening and this starting World War III. Well, World War III will start with, everyone says when they invade Taiwan, China invades Taiwan, which I don't understand that situation fully at all. But like, I guess if that ever was to happen, then World War III would start, which I don't understand. Like, but I'm like, okay. We just went in, by the way. So like, think about it. We just took out Maduro, capture Maduro. We get El Mencho, right? El Mencho, or did we get him? No, did we have I'm sure we had a part in his capture or his killing. We killed the cartel leader, the CJNG cartel leader in Mexico. It was this like last week. Then we fucking take out the supreme leader of Iran and all these other top guys. Not a lot of casualties. Pretty fucking badass. And I know I sound like a bro right now while I'm talking about war, but I'm being realistic. Like, I'm like, yeah, peace and love. Everybody love everybody. Like, war is bad. We don't stop killing each other. Like, peace, love, and happiness. Like, can't we all just get along? But like, that's not reality. And again, I just think about what just happened in Iran with the protests and the massacre. And I'm like, look how the US reacted to what happened in Gaza. Like, those poor people in Iran, like I mean, I don't know where else people are getting massacred at that in those numbers anywhere else in the world. Like, it's so fucked up too, because it's like, okay, Israel, oh, yeah, this is the whole thing. It's like, because Israel's involved and everyone's like, fuck Israel, and and I get it, but it's like, because of what they just did in Gaza, And then I guess another unfortunate thing is, I guess we bombed a girls' school. Something like 57 girls dead. I don't know. Was that like a freak thing? But wasn't it intentional? Like, intentional. We weren't trying to bomb the girls' school. I didn't look into that, but yeah, people are going to die and it's awful. It's fucking awful. What's more awful? The regime staying in power, chanting death to America and building a nuke and potentially nuking us, or our allies, and women getting tortured to death and continuing. I mean, you have to understand too, like, there are probably women in prison right now. It's like still happening just because this guy's out. So I don't know if it'll ever end in that country. But this, I feel like, was a positive first step. And we should just get out. Like, okay, we went in. It's time to get out. Like, I'm like for short-term war, strategic short-term war. But if it unravels a chaotic situation for Iranians now, where it's like, but the fact they were fucking dancing in the streets, celebrating this, I mean, like, they've been waiting 47 fucking years for this. And I always think about, like, what do the people want? What are the vibes when it comes to the people and their reaction to this? Because we can have our opinions all we want here in the US. We can be armchair experts about Iran, and we can sit and on our podcast and we can put in our 2 cents and our opinions. But it's like, what do the people of Iran want? They love Trump. They're so happy with this. Not all of them, obviously, but I'd say a vast majority are happy with this. I just pray that the future is I don't know how they elect a new person. I don't get it, but like, I hope it's a better world for them and a better life for them, especially the poor women and the children, everyone, the men. So yeah, did I talk about the history? I feel like we went through 1989. Okay, so that's when the guy we just took out, Khamenei. It's the spelling is Khameni. The former guy was Khomeini, Kho. So I'm like, they have the same name. It's kind of confusing. But he died of health complications. Okay, so Islamic Revolution. So 53. The Operation Ajax, 1953. The U.S. and the U.K., the CIA and British intelligence overthrow the. We go in and the prime minister is overthrown and the Shah is put in. Okay, he is okay, and we contrived all that. We manipulated all of that. Okay, that's 53. In 79, Islamic Revolution. Khomeini becomes the leader. The Shah dies the next year. He is exiled, whatever. He flees and he's in all these countries getting health. He's getting work on his... he's getting medical work all over the world. Morocco, Egypt, the US, Bahamas, whatever. And then he dies a year later, okay? And then that guy who was put in 79 dies of health complications in 89, and then the Khomeini, the one we just bombed and took out, becomes new supreme leader. Okay, then he's been in power since 89, and life hasn't been so great in Iran since then. Okay, so what's interesting is that the Shah's oldest son was part of he called for unified protesting. His name was Reza Pahlavi, named after his dad, the former Shah. And he called for, unified protests. And this, I think it started it was like end of December, like December 28th, the protesting started. And then January 8 and 9 is when the massacre happened this year. And that's when Khomeini authorized live fire on the protesters. And that's when it was they were all sitting ducks, which is the worst. Just imagine. And okay, I am getting fired up. Women in the US protesting this war right now. No war, whatever their fucking signs say. And then you've got the women in Iran dancing and happy and singing. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. So, okay, I think that buttons it up. I don't know. Let me just type in Iran updates. I'm actually curious, if anything groundbreaking has happened. We've lost some guys, I think 5. Trump vows to avenge the deaths of U.S. service members. Says combat operations continue. So the combat operations, they're going to continue. The president's comments come as Iran's retaliation is intensifying after U.S. Israel strikes killed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, triggering one of the most consequential moments for the Islamic Republic since 1979. The massive attack was launched on Iran overnight Saturday after Iran refused American demands that it reduce its nuclear program. We talked about that. So yeah, they're still, it's war. They're in combat. Okay. They're still striking. Excuse me for being I might have to research this. I almost want to just talk to ChatGPT and then come back. But my kind of dumb bitch question is, okay, so like, who's calling the shots in Iran right now? Like, and who's like, I know there's like a lot of military members, but like when like 10 major figures die, I guess there's something in place where like the other people, it's like having a vice president, they come in and they call the shots now. But I'm just confused when I'm comparing Iran to Mexico in terms of like there's a cartel and then there's the Mexican military, you know, like there's a sub radicalized military that's crazy, and then there's the normal one. Does Iran have that? And is Iran's military like death to America? That seems so obvious. Military. What is Iran's military strategy? Islamic Republic of Iran Armed Forces. Okay, here, let me just read this because I need to educate myself because I think I know what it is. I guess under the regime, under the Ayatollah's supreme leader's power, he was in charge of everything, including the military, right? And so they operate under his rules and wishes and wants and shit. And then, so the Islamic Republic of Iran Armed Forces, also known as the Iranian Armed Forces, are the combined military forces of Iran, comprising of Islamic Republic of Iran Army, the Police Command, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Iranian armed forces are the largest in the Middle East in terms of active troops. Iran's military forces are made up of approximately 610,000 active duty personnel plus 350,000 reserved and trained personnel that can be mobilized when needed, bringing the country's military manpower to about 960,000 total personnel. Okay, so like, let me just type this in. I don't give a fuck. Who's in charge of Iran? Who are the council members temporarily in charge of Iran? Okay, yeah, the council members. This makes sense. Until Khomeini's successor is picked, this is what I needed to know. Until Khomeini's successor is picked, the 3-member leadership council, including Ayatollah Ali Reza Arafi, will lead Iran. Okay, so there is a process. It's like having a vice president, okay? There's another guy. I don't know why we haven't taken him. I don't know. I feel like we killed everyone. The way they make it sound, it's like we got everyone, but Iranian authorities have announced a 3-member hold on, I need to drink water, you guys. I've been talking a lot about this. Iranian authorities have announced a 3-member interim. Every time I read this word, I'm like, it's hard to say. Interim. 3-member interim leadership council to run the government after the killing of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and Israeli United States strikes. Okay. Iran's government pledged to avenge the killing on Saturday of Khamenei, who had been in power for nearly 4 decades. Tehran has since targeted Israeli and U.S. assets located across Gulf countries in retaliatory strikes. While U.S. President Donald Trump has said he wants a change in Iran's government, the religious leaders of Iran moved on Sunday to start the process of choosing Khamenei's successor. So they've already started. Okay, yeah. So what is the Leadership Council? Article 111 of Iran's constitution authorizes a temporary leadership council to assume the supreme leader's duties until a successor is elected. That council will consist of President Masoud Pezeshkian, Masoud Pezekian, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Gholam Hossein Mohseni sorry. I wish I could pronounce these with excellence and perfect. Sorry, I'm trying my best. Mohseni Ajai, and a member of the Guardian Council, Ayatollah Ali Reza al-Rafi. I can do that one. So who are these three figures who will temporarily run Iran as it reels from war? So Ayatollah Ali Reza al-Rafi has been a member of the Guardian Council since 2019. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm getting the gist that there's three guys that are temporarily running Iran and telling the military to fuck shit up, probably. I think they're the ones like, yeah, that's the vibe. Sorry. That's like what I'm picking up. In terms of there being like a Taliban, it's not that. I think I totally, yeah. It's not the same as like, and when it comes to, it's not, and when it comes to the women, it's not like the Taliban in Afghanistan and the vibe of that. I mean, it's bad, but it's not like that bad. So, the women definitely have more rights and they can participate in society. It's just the rules are very restrictive and they're treated like way less I mean, compared to men, they're second class citizens. And I'm not falling asleep, I swear. Okay, so I think we covered that. It's hell, it's war, it's awful. And try not to be too like nonchalant about it, but we'll see what happens. I guess that's all I can say. I just hope it's a net benefit long term. Because God knows what would continue and happen in the future if that guy stayed. And how do we know we got him how do we know we got him? People make the argument like, oh, we can't find Nancy Guthrie. We can't even but we can find Khomeini. We can't fucking figure out who killed Charlie Kirk. We can just take out a leader of a country, like no issue. It's like, yeah, we've got sights on them all the time. We always know where everyone's at all the time, all the fucking, especially our ops, especially the leader of Iran. You don't think we knew exactly where he was? We've been working on that shit day in and day out for forever. We learned our lesson with Osama. Like we knew, like, I mean, that man was a hard guy to find. When it comes to, we learned our lesson. Listen to what Pete Hegseth, the God of War, trailing off. Look what he said. He's like, we're smarter now. We know better now. It's like, yeah. I hope that's sincere. Okay, this is supposed to be a girly podcast. I don't know how the fuck we went in that deep on war, but war is girly. War is so girly. Think about how like girly pop it is to actually, yeah. How is war girly? Could I do a whole shtick on this right now? Do I have it in me? Is war girly? I mean, it could be. How could war be girly? Let me work on this before. I'll check back in when I come up with something, but I think it could be intertwined into that could be a whole segment. How war is so girly pop. I mean, what did I say? Raytheon is Sephora for the Pentagon. It's just boys shopping for they're war maxing, they're looks maxing, but they're just like they're maxing their fleets with Arsenal. Perfect. latest and the greatest. It's like the best new lip gloss, you know? It's like the best new jet, the best new missile. I don't know. All right, that doesn't make any sense. But okay, so we don't know where the fuck Nancy Guthrie is, but we it's sad. You guys, this is like, I think it's been going on for a month. Nancy Guthrie and the case is starting to look like it's going cold, and it's so awful and confusing. I follow that Brian Enton guy, the TikTok guy that does like, hey guys, and he does an update. He always like waves at the camera, hey guys. And he's always at the scene in front of Nancy's house. And every day that he's been posting lately, it's as if the press isn't really there anymore. I think they're releasing the house back to the family, maybe. I don't know if that happened yet, but I think Savannah's starting to talk about like going back to the Today Show. So insane. And so it's such a head scratch. It's so random. It's so confusing. I mean, I know kidnappings happen all the time, but just the fact that it was her, I'm not over the connection though with the Guthrie, Savannah's husband though, and Epstein and that whole connection, and okay, and the Clintons, and that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. So that's very sad. Larry Ellison, so he bought TikTok last year, but didn't Paramount just take over Warner Brothers for $111 billion? Yeah, there's been this like bidding war, I think, between Netflix and Paramount for Warner Brothers. And Paramount did it, I think. And this is, I'm a woman in media. Sometimes these articles are interesting to me. This one's kind of not. Like, honestly, they own everything. You know what I mean? Like, the Ellisons own everything. They're going to own the entire media catalog of every network of everything. And the jig is that people are pissed because they're like, and he's the biggest donor to the IDF, and so they're gonna fucking brainwash us now that he owns all the outlets through Warner Brothers. They're gonna do the whole, what do you call it, propagandizing and brainwashing with the shows they put out and the content they put out. I don't know. Is that a reach? Probably. Nothing's a reach anymore in 2026. Like, nothing's a reach, but that's what the kids are saying. And shout out. Okay, we killed El Mencho, or we didn't. The Mexican military. Mexico's on fire last week. I didn't cover this. I didn't podcast about it, but yeah, people in Puerto Vallarta. I can do it. Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco. They were, on vacation. They're like stuck and they can't travel, and it was scary. Like, people are, they were retaliating. They killed El Mencho. It was like their El Chapo. I don't know if they were under the same cartel. El Chapo's here in prison, but they killed El Mencho in his compound last week, and the cartel retaliated. They literally just like lit up cars in Costco's and kind of went about their day. I don't know what other kinds of, did they murder a bunch of people? I'm sure they did, but it's sad. 25 members of the National Guard were left dead in Jalisco in six separate attacks after the killing of the new generation cartel leader Nemiso Oseguera Cervantes. I thought he was El Mencho. Is that just his nickname? Oh, yeah. He's known as El Mencho. Duh. I don't know. What does El Mencho mean in Spanish? Does Mencho mean something in Spanish? Mencho. It's a nickname derived from his first name, Nemesio. Let me see. What does El Mencho actually translate closest to in English? Is better known as the one with bad taste. I don't get it. Whatever. He's dead. The cartel retaliated, lit up some Costco and a bunch of cars. People, I think, got murdered in really gruesome ways. Pretty awful. I heard about like blow torches and hearts being ripped out, and I mean, they're the worst of the worst. Okay. And I think that the president, what's her name? Like Victoria, what's her name of Mexico? The Mexican president. She's like scared of the cartel, which doesn't help. Claudia. Pardo. Yeah. So the thing about what happened though, is that the FIFA World Cup's being held in Mexico, and people are like, oh my God, like, is this going to escalate? And like, what's going to happen to the, if you're a soccer fan and you give a shit, it's on schedule. The World Cup is on schedule to be held in Guadalajara, in the city of Guadalajara in June. So, we watched the State of the Union, which was a great speech. I think that was a really great speech that Trump gave, and I think all of those Democrats that sat down should be fired. That's kind of all I have to say about that. When he's like, "Do you think it's the first responsibility of the U.S. government to protect its citizens over illegal aliens?" Something like that. And they fucking stayed seating. And it's like what I said last week about the rise of the adult toddler in the U.S., like how these adults in politics are literal toddlers, like literal preschoolers with pea brains, where they literally, it's just like, all it is this: anything Trump says, they have to disagree with, no matter what. They will never, like, they cannot agree with anything he says. And so when they are all in solidarity sitting, what was that exact line? Trump, State of Union. Illegal immigrants. What did he say? Exactly. It was so... I kind of already said it. The gist was like, is it the duty of the American government? It was like to protect citizens over immigrants, and the Democrats sat down. And when they all did that, I'm like, this is so... What a bunch of cowards. They should all be fired. This is a political podcast. I did like when they gave the Medal of Honor to the Chinook helicopter pilot guy that got shot up in the legs when they took out Maduro. And he continued to fly it and figure it out. And then he had to like pass the reins off to the joystick off to his guy, because he's like, I'm bleeding out. Like, fuck, I can't, I'm going to pass out. He the mission was accomplished. He was a huge part of that. That guy looks straight up. It's so funny when you look at military guys, especially the guys that receive, like the commanders and the generals and the top of they always look like they're in the military. They all have like a very specific face. It's like the jaw. I think it's just like they have very alpha, like in terms of looks maxing, because we'll get there. It's like the Chads, like they're full like bone structure, like jawline, strong foreheads, piercing eyes. Like they're just very masculine looking. They're hyper masculine looking. And so when the guy got the Medal of Honor, he looks like Superman straight up. And I guess some of them like don't want it. They don't want the attention. They like don't. And the poor guy, I mean, they're clapping for like 20 minutes for him, and he could barely even stand up. And that was the whole joke when the Democrats sat down, when Trump asked, when he said the thing about like stand up if you believe that whatever, and they all stayed seating or they all sat. The joke is that the guy with his leg full of shrapnel and shit, all fucked up from capturing Maduro. What was that operation? They always have a name. This was Epic Fury. Was that Operation Maduro? Operation name. Wasn't it called something? Operation Absolute Resolve, right? Okay. Anyways, he's getting the Medal of Honor and he's barely able to stand up. He's on like a walker, crutches or whatever. And like, what a hero, Nothing fires me up more than the US military and our troops doing their thing. Nothing fires me up more. And you know what? I have the utmost respect. It takes a special kind of person to enlist and to go through the training and to put themselves in that position where they might have to lay their life down for our country and for our freedoms. And I think, yeah, it's a crazy time though right now. Like I know a lot of families are stressed out because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, so we watched that. We need to play some fun stuff because, oh yeah, fucking Kash Patel. You guys. What the fuck is going on with Kash Patel? Like, just this shit. You know what I mean? Him chugging beers with the U.S. hockey team in Milan. That's our FBI director right there. Okay. And then this is what his fucking girlfriend had to say about what he was doing there. Like why he was in Milan chugging beers with the U.S. hockey team.
I think Elon Doge's opinion would be on spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to send cash to drink beer with hockey players. So I really am not going to dip too much into this because this is kind of my whole point. But what I will say is the Bureau has long been in charge of providing security for the Olympics. And that's what was happening. So I think that we should be probably more concerned with the fact that, the Democrats were trying to spend millions of dollars to see if mice can be transgender and the fact that that has stopped.
So he was providing security in the locker room. The only thing he was securing was that fucking, what was that, a Coors Light? What was he chugging? Let me look. What kind of beer were they drinking? Do they have Coors Light in Milan? I don't know. This is our fucking FBI director. And then I was down the rabbit hole and I'm like, okay, I know there was this stupid interview with him and his girlfriend. By the way, she's trying to become a country singer. There's something, it's just the reason why I'm like, what the fuck is going on with Kash Patel is because it's so unserious. Like Charlie Kirk, for example, gets taken out and then his reaction to that in response and that whole shit show and the way that was handled was really just unfortunate and not with the level of like, that's all sus too. Just how that whole thing, I haven't really talked about it in a while. So he's massacred. He's shot. And how Kash Patel handled that was a joke. Kash Patel handled that was a joke. And then now you've got like the Nancy Guthrie case and she's missing and then he's just off and fucking. Shouldn't he be like behind a desk, like just working and just laying low? Like, I don't like how overexposed he is. He's on this fucking podcast. I don't know. When did this come out? 2 months ago? The Katie Miller podcast. And they're literally like, what's your perfect day? Like, let me just play some of this.
She accidentally cut her finger open and I said, okay.
He's with his girlfriend on a couch, like with American flag socks. He's on a girly pod. Why is Kash Patel on a girly podcast? Why is our FBI director on a girly podcast? Why is he talking about his like perfect day?
Would you rather Kash sing backup vocals on your next single or Alexis field questions from senators about your relationship in a televised hearing?
Well, one, she would field those questions spectacularly well and crush those clowns. Two, if I sang backup vocals for her or anyone else, their career would be over.
Why is Kash Patel, our FBI director, talking about singing backup vocals for his up-and-coming country star's girlfriend? Why is he? We're paying for this. Like, we're paying for this. Again, it's just so unserious, and like, I get it. You know, podcasts weren't always a thing back in the day. We didn't always get they didn't always get a chance, or there wasn't really a. It's so normal to go on a podcast now if you're a politician, but it should not be. This should not be normal. I don't like it. I don't like that he was. Yeah. And then I was down the rabbit hole and I'm like, okay, like, let me hear his girlfriend sing. So here we go. She's at the airport singing the national anthem. Why is she singing on the megaphone thing at the airport check-in desk thing? Like, what is going on? I'm so confused. And then I was like, okay. So then I was like, who was the FBI director under Bush? Like, when the last time we went to war, I'm like, okay, who was running the FBI then? And what was the vibe? I wanted to see like the contrast between Kash Patel and Robert Mueller is his name. Bob Mueller, former FBI director. And here's a glimpse into him and his aura, you could say.
Who occupies an enormous role right now in our democracy.
I care deeply about the rule of law. In a free society, a central responsibility of government, I believe, is to protect its citizens from criminal harm within the framework of the Constitution. I have been fortunate indeed to have been able to spend much of my career in pursuit of that goal.
What has never changed and will never change are our values. We have pledged to serve and to protect our nation, and to do so while upholding the rights and the liberties guaranteed to every citizen under the Constitution.
Okay. And then, like, let's remind you where we just came from.
So I know, Kash, you're a big country music fan. Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite artist?
George Strait.
Really? Even outside of country? Because I was half joking.
What the fuck is going on? Like, I'm sorry. We should not know this kind of information about our elected officials, and especially our FBI director. He needs to be more low key. I don't like that our FBI director is this exposed. And I don't hate his answer when he said George Strait, but all right. I had some other tabs open here. This guy, and he's like in a hot tub while the cartel is just blowing shit up.
Coming live from Puerto Vallarta, where the cartel boss is on the run, and it looks like the city's blowing up right before our eyes. I got about 8 Sam Adams left and a pack of cheese. Looks like I'm gonna be here for a while. Solid 2-3 months.
He's in a hot tub and there's smoke and fire behind him, and he's got 3 more Sam Adams and a pack of cheese. White people love Mexico. They love Mexico. Like, it's such a It's a great, I fucking love, I went to Cabo. It was a great time, but there wasn't a second that went by that I was a little paranoid. I'm always, I never feel fully like I was in Cabo. I was in a nice area, a gated community. I was in a, it was very, very nice, but I still felt a little bit, especially when we would go out. I'm like, it never feels, I'm never at ease. But you shouldn't feel that way. Like anywhere you travel, like safety is an illusion. Okay. You're not safe anywhere. If you've learned anything remember that guy, the guy played his prepared, not paranoid guy, the guy that lives in, where does he live in Arizona? He's in a retiree community, excuse me. And he's like, when you walk into the grocery store, scan around, be aware of your surroundings. You never know. And he's that guy. He's a hypochondriac, crazy. Like he's overly paranoid about living in, not Scottsdale. Where does he live? Like Phoenix, like I don't know, like a retiree community. Like all white people, like old white people community. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, anywhere you like, you should never safety is an illusion. It's some places you feel obviously more safe than other places in the world, but they want your head in Mexico if you're an American. So like, just don't go. I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's a good travel move right now. You're gonna like, it's so, you walk down the wrong street and your head's cut off. It's like, I don't know if that's worth it. But people love Mexico. They love Cabo. Cabo's great. I love Cabo. Yeah, but what else do we have here? Bill Gates apologized to his staff about having an affair with 2 Russian women while he was married to Melinda. Again, it's like TMI, Bill, TMI. Why are you holding a stand up? What do they call it? When they all stand up in the meeting. What do they call it? I used to do them at work. It was like when I had a corporate job. A weekly stand-up meeting. You hold what do you fucking call it? Yeah. A staff meeting, whatever. But it's like too much. Your staff does not need to know where your dick has been. Okay. It doesn't need to know about this. Like I think he was actually like, he felt like shit. Like I don't know. Bill, he's a weird guy, but I guess here, let's watch this.
Eye-opening apology for his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a town hall meeting with employees, Gates admitting to 2 affairs with Russian women and what he says about the photos of him in the Epstein files. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates revealing more damaging information about his personal life and admitting to a series of stunning lapses in judgment in building a relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Today, the fallout growing as Gates was pressed by employees at a Gates Foundation town hall. According to the Wall Street Journal, which revealed audio of the meeting, Gates told employees it was a huge mistake to spend time with Epstein. He acknowledged that his relationship with Epstein began after Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor. And he claimed that he, one of the wealthiest men in the world, did not properly research Epstein's background that would have revealed.
I don't know if I believe him. I don't believe anyone with $1 billion or more. But anyways, the Russian woman he had an affair with was like a bridge player, and Epstein apparently set him up with her and like as a way to blackmail him, because I think Bill Gates liked playing bridge, and Epstein's like, all right, I'm gonna get this hot Russian champion bridge player to come to his bridge event and I don't know, talk to him or whatever. Like, let me just play
2 years
this.
ago, I said to everyone that I'm going to meet this guy Nobody believed me. Last year, I played against him at the same table at the National Bridge Tournament in Washington, D.C. I didn't beat him, but I tried to kick him with my leg.
Mr. Gates.
Her name's Antonova, Mila Antonova. So that's how Epstein blackmailed him. I don't know. Like, and then they had an affair. He can confess. This is so layered, you guys. Like, I don't have Epstein file fatigue, but like, I think let's get deep and spiritual because we don't do introspection anymore. What do we do on my show now? What do we do on the Jacqueline Monroe show? We talk about politics and government and is that the same thing? War and current events and news and all the hot button issues of the world. We don't get deep. We don't talk about me very much anymore. Like my brain. We don't go inward that often. But I will say this. Something I've been repeating is that, like, I don't know if this is the kind of woman I want to be, where my most precious resource is my energy and my time. And here I am, you know, a 30-some-year-old woman addicted to my phone and addicted to headlines and news and week in and week out, right? Like, I don't know if that's the kind of woman I want to be, but I can't stop. Like, I'm addicted to it. Like, this is what I podcast about. Like, I'm always researching and learning and it's kind of like the career path I'm on right now. And, but if you want to get deep, I think there's something kind of, I don't know if I'm spiritually breaking right now. I'm not going to get this deep, but I find that I'm, I don't know if this is in alignment with my true spirit. I don't know if talking about like, or not my true spirit. I don't know if this is good for my soul and spirit to be spending this much time and energy on negativity all the time. I don't know if it's like the best use of, my life, but then what is in alignment with me and my spirit and my soul is that I am a curious person. I'm a deep thinker. I like learning. I'm very, I can't help myself. And so I find that when I learn about what's going on in the world, when I learn about the history of Iran and I learn about what's going on in the Epstein files and all the current events that everyone's talking about on their podcast, like I feel, how do I feel? It's not like, oh, I feel smarter. It's just that I just enjoy the process of learning new information and solving puzzles. And there's so many puzzles right now to be solved and things that we don't have answers to. And I think that's really stimulating. But again, it all comes back to like, it's negative. It's how I'm using my time. And I don't know if that's a positive use of my time. Is it a positive use of my time to research negative news all the time? Like, this is now a riddle. It's something to think about. I'm like, what do you do? Am I just a sheep? Like, am I just like every other podcaster with their head cut off every week, fucking freaking out about this stuff? Like, am I just another, it's not unique. It's not interesting. It's not different. I think the fact I'm asking the question about it right now is healthy, that I have an awareness about it. But yeah, I kind of, I don't know. times are we've been living in a very dynamic, tumultuous I can never say it, tumultuous world for a while now. And I think, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like, don't think too deep about it. If I was a news reporter, this would be my job. I'd just come on the air and talk about, you know, I'd have a teleprompter and I'd be covering it. It's just a lane, you know. I'm just in this lane right now. Do you want me to do more introspection, deep thinking, and personal, like more what's in my brain stuff? Because that's how I built my show. I built my show off of that. I built my show off of deep thinking about myself to the point where I was like, I healed all of my personal issues because I was airing everything out about myself that I didn't like. So that was major. That's how I built the show. And then it transitions all the time into whatever I'm interested in. And right now it's like, you know, we're bombing Iran, and that's interesting to me. And it's interesting in a, like, it's not the most positive thing to be interested in, but sometimes I question, like, not what am I doing with my life at all, but like, I know exactly what I'm doing with my life, but no one has it fully figured out. I think going with what feels right. And right now this feels right. But again, I go like, is this good for me? I don't know. There's too much going on. You guys, this woman put her fucking panties in a coffee machine in a hotel room, like, in so nonchalant. Like, listen to this.
Say you're traveling and you didn't pack enough underwear, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna wear tomorrow? I'm about to show you guys one of the coolest tricks ever. Every room has like a coffee pot thing in it. Every room, even the other coffee makers where it like brews through. All you do, put your underwear where you would put the coffee grounds. You close it, you press brew, and it puts scorching hot water through it. You guys, then the hairdryer in the bathroom, you blow dry those bad boys, and you got yourself a cleaner pair of
underwear. I think she's being sued. Underwear hotel lady lawsuit. I think she's being sued. Apparently this is something a lot of flight attendants do. Like, this is a thing. Putting your dirty underwear inside of a Keurig in a hotel room and running hot water over it is it's a life hack out there. This is a known thing, but this woman publicized it as if it's like, oh my God, this is the best tip. And it's fucking disgusting. Oh, there's $1 million lawsuit. So, or rumors. Allegedly, she's being sued for $1 million or something like that. The creator behind the viral underwear washing hack now says the video was never meant to be taken literally. Bitch, you cannot say that with a straight face. A travel influencer who recently got slammed on the internet for using a hotel's coffee machine for cleaning underwear has finally responded to the criticism. Recently, Tara Woodcocks shared a video on her social media reacting to the outrage that erupted after her earlier travel hack went viral. The original clip showed her demonstrating how a hotel coffee maker could supposedly be used to wash underwear, an idea that triggered widespread disgust and prompted many to rethink using in-room appliances. Yeah, no shit. She called the internet's reaction insane. I have never actually done that, but it's really funny. She says she's full of shit. She has put so many pairs of underwear through. She has blown up so many coffee machines because of this. Dude, steaming hot. Okay, this is going to be crass. I'm sorry, but the scent of steaming hot pussy juice permeating in that hotel room. I can only imagine. You're heating up your snail trail in a Keurig has got to be one of the most foul, maybe a shit stain too. Has to be, I mean, I don't care how hot that water is. That steam is going to stink like shit. That's going to make the entire hotel room stink. Your underwear are not going to smell. Okay, this is how you wash your underwear in a hotel room. Okay, this is how you do it. Pay very close attention to what I'm about to say. Okay? You're walking around the strip, Vegas Strip. You're walking around Europe. You're walking around the Colosseum in Rome all day. You're walking around the streets of Morocco. You're walking around, you're running around you're in Mexico on vacation. You're running from the cartel. Okay. They're lighting cars on fire. They just lit up the Costco behind you. You're running from the cartel. You're on vacation in Mexico. This is what you're going to do to your underwear to get them clean once you get back to that hotel room. Safely. God willing, you're safe. Okay. It's very simple. This is the most tried and true way to clean your dirty underwear, your dirty shit-stained, snail-trailed underwear in a hotel room. Okay. It's very simple. The day is over. You've put in your 20,000 steps on vacation. You sweat your crotch off. Okay. You go in the hotel room. You're going to shower. You walk in that bathroom. You strip down, okay? You've got your sweaty leggings. Got your bra. Maybe your bra doesn't need to be washed. It's okay. Bras don't need to get washed that often. Unless you like sweat through them, they don't really need to get washed, okay? But your shirt and your pants are definitely, that's a laundry bag in the corner of your suitcase situation. Those aren't going to be worn for the rest of the trip. Okay. Assuming you have other changes of clothes. Okay, wait a minute. If you're washing your underwear in a hotel room, you didn't pack enough underwear. We need to start there. Okay. I don't know about you, but I not only pack a lot of bras on vacation for someone who only has 2 boobs. Okay. That's number one. And I pack enough underwear on vacation as if I'm going to shit myself for 24 hours a day, every single day I'm on that vacation. Okay. The amount of underwear I pack on vacation is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make sense. I overpack underwear always, every single time. I just do. Bras too. I don't know. A lot of bras for someone who only has 2 boobs, whatever. So that's where I'm confused. We didn't address that. But let's say you are in a location that you're staying for a while and you have to wash your underwear because maybe you ran through the 24 pairs you brought. Okay. You strip down. The shirt and the pants are off to the side. You have those underwear, those shit-stained, snail-trailed underwear. Okay. They're going in the shower with you. This is not a sink wash situation. I think the most sanitary way to clean underwear in a hotel room is in that shower while you're showering, okay? Because you're already cleaning your shitty asshole and your stinky puss. You're already doing that, and your armpits. This is a very crass episode, and I'm sorry I'm going there. But we're being very specific because I have to be graphic because I have to be specific about the situation. Maybe you use moist towelettes and wipes, and you're probably cleaner than, I'm making this sound like you're a dirty person, but you're probably not. But you're already in that shower cleaning off fecal matter from your body. So why not throw the underwear in there too? Okay. So I would start the process by, okay, always wash your face first thing in the shower. That's the number one thing you do. Maybe I start with my shampoo. If I'm going to wash my hair, I'm going to shampoo. get the shampoo and then the conditioner in, and then I wash my face. But the head has to start, okay? Anything that touches your mouth, your eyes, okay, that all needs to be cleaned first before you touch your shit-stained underwear. Okay, so that's done. Conditioner soaking in. This would be a good time to take that shampoo in the shower. That's probably your best cleaning solution. And you're going to get in there and you're going to hand wash your underwear, okay? You're going to get in there, you're going to rub around, you're going to, they're probably not that dirty. Like, let's be honest. Like, they're just sweaty and kind of gross. But you're going to soap them with shampoo because that's going to be the most refreshing soap for the situation to clean them up. Okay. And then you're going to do what we've all done, and you hang them on the little, like, where the water comes out, the spigot. You kind of hang them over that. Okay. Or maybe if there's like a hook somewhere, you hang them on that. But you're going to hand wash them with soap and hot water in the shower. That's how you do it. You're not going to put them in the hotel room Keurig like an animal. You fucking gross pig. I hope she gets sued for $1 million. That is so I hope she gets deported. She should show her papers. I don't know if she Where is this animal from? No. Yeah, so in the middle of the controversy, social media posts also began claiming that a hotel had slapped Woodcocks with a $1 million lawsuit over the coffee maker incident, but these rumors were soon dismissed, okay? There's no court filing and no official statement from any hotel chain supporting the claim, confirming that the lawsuit chatter was simply unverified. Okay, so she's a dangerous person, and we cannot have her in this country. Okay. So you guys, we need to talk about looks maxing now. What else? Wait, what's on my list here? Oh, Little Punch. We didn't talk about Little Punch. So everyone's heart was captured by the little orangutan. Was it an orangutan? What kind of monkey? In a Japanese zoo, who was pushed away by his mother and then bullied by his cellmates, his inmates at the Japanese zoo. By the way, their regulations for how they treat their animals in Japan at the zoos, and I think just in general, isn't that great? So if you're on a trip to Japan right now looking to visit Little Punch in the zoo, don't give them their money. He should have immediately been taken to a sanctuary. That poor Little Punch broke my heart. Him and his little orange orangutan. Stole our hearts. I think they eventually took him on, like they eventually accepted him. But I think the reason why Little Punch stole our hearts and captured our hearts and made us feel so much is because we are all Little Punch deep down. We have all been rejected. We've all experienced bullying. I hope, maybe not all of us. I know I have. So it's hard not to look at him and relate to his story and what he's going through. And that poor thing. I mean, it's gut-wrenching. Just the way he was cuddling his little orange orangutan. I mean, I could cry. I was so taken back by it. But something that is so true, though, about animals, and the zoo themselves, the Japanese zoo, it's the Ichikawa City Zoo in Japan. They're like, oh, this is a normal part of the process of introducing a new monkey to the other monkeys. Like, this is a normal part of the process. And I can attest to that as someone who grew up on a farm, and I've had cats and dogs, and I've had to introduce animals to other animals. Like, it's pretty normal when you introduce animals to each other for the first time for them to want to fucking kill each other. Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten a cat or a dog after a cat, or before, whatever, a cat after a dog, and you've had to like put them in the same room. It's violent. It's immediately violent. Like, even I'm trying to think of like farm animals. And I feel like this happened with like horses and ponies growing up. They would like bite each other. I don't know. They just like would buck at each other and put their ears back and get really mean. Donkeys, like what other animals would this happen to? I feel like chickens were chill. What other animals? Sheep, goats. I don't know. I feel like maybe just the horses. Animals just don't get along at first. And once they get comfortable, they're like, you know, my golden retriever and my cat would like cuddle up and sleep together every night. But at first it was, you know, it was war. So yeah, a little punch stole our hearts. Let me think, what else do we have to cover? Oh, I mentioned looks maxing. Sophia Franklin is coming out with a book in November. You know, I immediately pre-ordered this, called Daddy Issues. Such a slay title, such a slay cover. The cover is literally her and her former co-host, we all know who, of Call Her Daddy, Alex Cooper, like with like white out over her face, like completely. So I'm hoping, my prayer is that she really, I guess there was an NDA and she can say stuff now, but I really hope she explains everything in more detail about the breakup in the book. I hope it's not like because she said what she said up until this point, and it's kind of like, it's not that juicy. So selfishly, as a fan, I'm like, please tell us everything in this book. I want to know everything. Because it was such a dramatic breakup that was so fucked up. Like, I've always had a big heart for Sophia. Like, I've always felt bad for her. I don't like feel, you know, it's hard not to feel bad when they did that smear campaign on her. When Barstool and Alex Cooper did that, it's like, it was so awful, you know, and the way it ended was so gross. And I don't know, I've never really had the best vibe about, I'm just saying my honest opinion. I'm just being honest as a fellow female podcast host. I don't know what's going on with Alex Cooper. I've never been able to put my finger on it. You know, we have a lot of parallels, a lot of similarities. When I watched her documentary, I'm like, we have the same life. We have very similar, we're the same age. We're on like a very similar timeline in terms of when we got married, like engaged. We have the podcast thing. We've got the athlete background. You know, she definitely has the business acumen, or like it's real. What it really is Alex Cooper is, she is relentless in a way with like doing whatever it takes to get famous and stay famous and be at the top and climb the ladder and build an empire. Like, she'll do whatever. She's got that hustle in her, that inner dog. Like I don't have in that way. In terms of like loving work, and I love my company and my business, and like I love being a founder and being a female founder. Like, she has that like, I want to be a boss babe thing in her blood, and could not relate less. Not that I don't relate to, okay, yes I do, but not, that's why she's successful. Like, it's clear, like that's why but in terms of the skill and the humor and the talent and all of that, questionable. How does she not know that her show is perceived how it is? Like, it's just a late night talk show that's called a podcast. I mean, she just does a Q&A with her celebrity guests. It's a stop by. They just stop by and they promote whatever they're coming out with. And it's not very, I know she can interview better. I know Alex Cooper can do a better job. I don't know why she's stuck in this format. But it's very like, I guess it's very, what do you call it? brand friendly or whatever. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of opinions. I don't really talk about it because, you know, obviously she's like the number one. And it's like, Jacqueline, you don't sound like a woman supporting woman. It's not that I'm not supportive. I just think it was really fucked up what happened with Sophia. And it's hard not to back Sophia and be on her side because, and Alex Cooper has a lot of, she has a lot of falling, she falls out with other women a lot. And like what happened with Alex Earl is really interesting. And of course, everyone's talking about how Alex Earl likes Sophia's post about her new book, supporting her, because Alex Cooper and Alex Earl like don't fuck with each other anymore. And I don't know. It's just stupid internet drama, but yeah, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I hope the book is juicy. Like I really hope it's juicy because yeah, she deserves her moment. Sophia deserves that. And she's a real one. I think that honestly, Alex Cooper is vindictive as fuck. And that's what I'll say. Why do I care about like maintaining neutrality in this talk with this talk? I'm so like, wait, as a fellow podcaster in the podcasting community, and a lot of the podcasts I love are within her bubble. And like, why would I want to say something negative towards someone that I could potentially rub elbows with someday? I don't give a fuck. Because do I really want to rub elbows with all these? That's not why I do this. I don't want to just sit here and talk shit about people all day. That's not my goal. But I'm also not, my goal also isn't like, I want to rub elbows with all of the people in the and just stay really neutral about everything all the time in order to be liked by everyone. And so I never ruffle any feathers and burn any bridges or any, that's fake, you know, like I'm just not, that's not who I am. So yeah. Team Sophia till I die. I'll always ride for Sophia and support anything she does. And I really hope this all works out for her. And it sounds like she has a great publisher behind her, or Simon and Schuster. And she's under new management. So okay, looks maxing. So I unfortunately heard the word looks maxing sometime in 2025. Like, I don't even know when I first heard it. And I didn't realize there's this entire, okay, so what I thought about when I heard the word looks maxing, and of course I joke about it on here and I'm like, I'm going to lean into looks maxing. And you've heard me say it as a joke, obviously. But that's all women do is looks max. We've been doing this. Now the boys are doing it. Now the boys are doing it. I'll explain. So when I first heard about looks maxing, I associated it with incels who had weak jawlines and they were not conventionally attractive and masculine. And so they coined the term looks maxing. It's when you do all of these alterations, or you maximize your looks. You do whatever you can, whether that's getting a jaw implant or working out at the gym more and getting buff and taking, maybe not steroids, but testosterone, or it's usually like facial stuff, mewing, like getting your neck and jawline right, maybe a jaw implant. So it's like plastic surgeries. I think that's called hard maxing. There's all these terms. But anyway, so I associated it with the incel community. And what's crazy is that I'm way too old for this like shit, but I came across the looks maxer streamer community. And I came across some TikTok videos and I had no idea who this clavicular guy was. But he started coming across my desk and I'm like, he has to be trolling. He cannot be serious. He's kind of like, who is it? Nick Fuentes, who says a lot of radical shit. And you're like, he can't be serious. This has to be a rage bait thing. Like he has to be trolling. Or it's like there's partial truth in it, but he's saying it in a very extreme way. So it's like, anyways, clavicular came across my desk, and he's like hammering his cheekbones, and he's talking about bone breaking or whatever, and how that will create more of a cheekbone. If the bone's broken, it'll come back bigger and perky. What the fuck? And I realized it's all of these streamer dudes who weren't necessarily attractive to start. They had a decent base. They weren't full incels. Some of them, you know, you could argue, and they're like super transparent about their insecurities. And which I'm like, okay, that's not a typical thing for men to do. And then they talk about all of these, they teach each other, and they make content about how to maximize your looks and how to look as Chad as possible. Like that's like the most masculine, that's the ideal archetype. It's like being a Chad. And they've transformed themselves, and just like watch this fucking video. Like here's an example. And they'll do anything to look their best.
Taking testosterone every single day. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. I take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal meth as a stimulant and Tolene Max. It's much more mild than Adderall, actually, and I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
Okay, so you got the typical testosterone, minoxidil you're taking for your hair and your muscles, and he's taking meth for hollow cheeks. So very nonchalant about that, very alarming. And the guy, I think he's open about he's autistic. He has autism. And this is his autistic like thing, I guess, is like looks maxing. But here's him bone smashing.
Zygomatic arch, right? So that gives you the wider bizygomatic width. So bone smash, you could use a hammer. You could use this massage gun as a really good tool, or you could do the good old lay in your bed and fist. But make sure, show them. Make sure you're bracing your head so that the CTE doesn't occur. You don't have this because you would brace your head and then punch.
Okay, so here's what's happening. Women for all of time have been looks maxing, right? We have been prioritizing our beauty, our looks. Same thing for all of time. Like that's what we do. Okay. And now the boys are doing it, and they're making it's literal beauty guru content for men. They are honestly, this is so gay. I don't understand. I mean, these guys, I think they're straight guys. I don't, but all they do is come online and they pose. It's so odd. Here's what it is. They're so consumed by every like part of their face and their body, and that's all they care about. It's all they talk about. And they like hang out and they do this thing called, it's like when you get mogged, frame mob. Like this is so immature and stupid, but like they'll stand next to each other, and then like someone will like out frame them because they have a better frame, a better build, and they'll frame mog, or face mogging, like who has a better face. They literally just walk around in like smize and like try to look as perfect and as Ken doll as possible. And it's really dumb, and like it's so dumb, but this is like their hobby, I guess. And then there's like a girl, Chad, I think she's called a Stacy, and that's like the pinnacle of being a girl, and your looks is you're a Stacy. It's just so dumb. Like what else I'm looking here at, then he'll like rate girls. he'll like sit and just like give a rating of their face. It's so stupid. I'm pissed I found this part. This is like such a waste of time. But like, listen how he talks about this girl's face.
Moving on to this lady, if we put the camera on her side profile,
okay,
a lot of her lip assessments, which means, you know, a lot of her convexities like her chin and her nose are just not forward grown enough relative to how protruded they are. Yeah, show this on the camera.
Okay.
So
I broke my nose, that's why it's like, I don't know.
it's not just your nose, but
I know. No, I know it's not. Like, I already know. Like, nothing like you're saying is like new.
Yeah,
I feel like I've already looked at all of that.
yeah, it's basically your entire maxillofacial structure. So you essentially need a double jaw surgery to, you know, look human to your.
To look human tier. This is so retarded. I mean, this poor girl. She's a beautiful girl. You know, the technical terminology they use on each other is so fascinating. It's so nonchalant too. It's not like this is weird that we're saying this. It's just what we say, and it's so honest. And you know, I like that they're open about their insecurities. I'll give them that. Like they're like, you know, oh, like my shoulders, I haven't been working out and I have my shoulder ratio to my neck or whatever is weak. And so this is how I get it big. I don't know. It's so fucking weird. But again, it's like so girly to do this. And, they should literally do America's Top Looks Maxer or something. I would watch that. I would watch that so quickly. I would love to see. Yeah, there needs to be a Looks Maxer competition show. And I think it should be hosted by Jim Carrey. I think the god of Looks Maxing right now isn't clavicular. It's Jim Carrey. You guys, everyone's like, is this Jim Carrey? Is this a clone? Did he have face work? What's going on? He was at some French award thing, I believe, and he was on the red carpet getting interviewed, and the video circulated online, and people are like, this is not Jim Carrey. And I've heard about, they've been they cloned Dolly the sheep in when was that? Like the 80s? They've been cloning for a while now. I feel like the cloning technology is probably a lot better where they could actually clone a person. And then I've heard about these really sophisticated masks they make where it's like you can barely tell that it's like you can't tell that it's a mask at all. So I've heard about that. But then when I looked at it, I'm like, I just think it's really unfortunate face work on Jim Carrey. I think it's a brow lift, a bleph, because the whole top half of his head and his eyes just everything's lifted up. And it looks like he got some cheek filler. His teeth are the same. I don't know how you would fake teeth and like clone that or get a body double for that. His hairline, I guess that's something you could easily fake actually. Get like prosthetic teeth. Even his aura was weird. But I think Jim Carrey's, I just think he's tapped into looks maxing. I think he saw what Kris Jenner did to her face last year and he got inspired. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to hit up my doc and I'm going to get a bleph. I'm going to start with a bleph and a brow lift. And, you know, I think he was aging well. I think it's sad when someone who has such an iconic, expressive face like Jim Carrey gets face work. You know, I can handle when Bradley Cooper does it or when, who's our Notebook guy? The Notebook guy. When he does it, I can handle, like, you know, I'm not too upset about that. But when you've got a guy known for his face and his expressions and he gets that tightened back and plumped up with fucking syringes of filler, it's kind of sad. Like out of all people, how did he get got by I want to say the aesthetics community. It's almost like I think it's the looks maxer community. I think he got down looks maxer TikTok and he started taking notes and it went too far. I just have a hard time thinking that's not him. But that's the world we live in now. We don't know what's real and what's not, what's AI and what's not. Do I need to wrap up this episode? It feels so long. Looks maxing terms. I have a whole list here. I mean, this is such a long list. Hard maxing, soft maxing, gym maxing, sleep maxing, lean maxing, bloat maxing, height maxing, status maxing, money maxing. Oh my God. Building wealth to fund appearance improvements in signal status. Oh, building wealth to fund appearance improvements and signal status related to status maxing. The logic, more resources equals more options for hard maxing, better clothes. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is very logical. Like if you want to, but it gets to a point where like a lot of these guys look like a joke because they're like overly, the face work and it's like too much. Then there's mogging. That's when mogging means dominating or overshadowing someone through superior physical appearance. I think, okay, what do I think about looks maxing? This is the ultimate, because everything is how we look and our appearance online and how we look, especially like on camera, video, or in photos and video. These kids, because this is like the young 20s kind of community, that's how they grew up. And this is where, this is like the extreme, like worst case scenario, is that it's not like you go, most guys go to the gym and like they build their chest and their shoulders and their back, and they do that in silence because intuitively they know like, yeah, being big and strong is more attractive, especially if I'm trying to date a woman. Like I want to be a certain body size and shape, and women do it too, but it's like not as, it's not a, it's like, they come on, they're so transparent about it. And it's very, they have a term for everything. Like hair mogging, age mog, when someone looks significantly younger than others their age. Oh yeah, eye area terms, hunter eyes, prey eyes, canthal tilt. Oh yeah, they always say like, if you have a positive canthal tilt, that makes you more attractive than negative canthal tilt. Like, oh my God. Orbital rim, upper eyelid exposure. Oh my God. It's just all of the aesthetic terms. Like when you go to the injector and you're talking about your facial harmony and whatever. And oh man, this is really sad. But what else do I have on here? What's your vending machine order? I'll end the show with, I've been thinking really creatively lately, and I don't know if this episode reflects that, but I've been thinking about a lot of random shit and referencing like childhood in the past, and like in my brain, I'll just think of something so random. And the other day I was like, wait a minute. I was in the car, we were on the way to golf or something, and I was like, Corey, what's your vending machine order? Like, what's your vending machine snack order? Because when you're a kid, like growing up, going to the vending machine was such a high. And it was so, yeah, like anytime. Okay, so like when I go, okay, the times I would go to the vending machine the most were when I was at like a basketball tournament and I was killing time and I needed a Gatorade and a snack, or if I was at my brother's soccer tournament or something, or just in the school, like would I go to the vending machine at school? No, I would just go to the cafeteria. But I just remember like, or if we were at, we go to like we go swimming, the YMCA, there'd be a vending machine or something there. Where else was a vending machine? It was always in like an athletic facility. You know what I mean? Swim meets. We would get, vending machines at swim meets when I did swim team. But it was a huge part of my childhood, like going to the vending machine. And it's like I only had what I had. Maybe I had $5. And you always had to be strategic about how you spent it. But I was thinking about it, and it was always like a Propel. There'd be the drink vending machine, and then there'd be the snack one. And I'd always get like a kiwi strawberry Propel, and then Sun Chips, like garden salsa Sun Chips. Would I get a candy bar? I feel like I would get like I always get like chips in a candy bar. What other? Or cookies, or I get those like famous cookies. I would never get Starburst or anything like gummy candy like that. It was like a Snickers, Sun Chips, and a Propel. Did they have protein bars in the vending machines? This is like mid 2000, like the 2010s. God, I'm old as shit. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, is Propel even a thing anymore? Nothing quenches your thirst. Like, okay, when you drink a Propel, it never feels like it's actually that cold and refreshing. Like it never gets cold enough like a Gatorade does. But I would still drink it. I would drink so much Propel and Snapple. So much peach Snapple. Ugh. Or whenever we go to this grocery store for lunch, I would get either Chinese food. I get I get so much orange chicken and chow mein and all this like grocery store Chinese food. And then I get a slice of cake that came in that like plastic. They always had like a display of those square grocery store bakery cakes. One of those. And then I get a Snapple. Or I would get chicken tenders and a Snapple and a piece of cake. And then maybe some chips. Yeah. Man, I was reminiscing on like snacks and shit the snacks of childhood. And then my brother used to go to this indoor soccer arena, and we'd have to sit there for, I don't know, being a kid was a lot of being a kid with siblings with other activities that had activities that you weren't involved in, was like sitting around and waiting for them at the activity or hanging out at their practice. And you would do your homework and wait for them because your parents would pick you up at the same time. It was like one of those things, kind of like after school. And so like the only thing that really got you through was that vending machine. And I remember my brother would play at this indoor soccer arena, and my sister would always fuck with me. And there was this gross like Slim Jim beef and cheese stick. And I would like go to the vending machine. She'd stand behind me, stand next to me or something. And like before I could enter the, whatever it was, like B12 to get my Sun Chips, she would like press the button for the fucking beef stick. And it pissed me off so much. But yeah, anyways. All right. This was a long one. But what's new? I feel like I talked shit about Sophia Franklin. Oh wait, the Alex Cooper, Sophia Franklin thing. But look, those are my OGs. Like those are my girls. The podcast was never the same with when they split up. And you know, it's hard not to give credit where credit's due. Like I give Alex Cooper all the credit for, I mean, you can't deny the success. Like you can't deny that she figured something out. But I don't love the vibes with the other women. I think it's fake or something. Like, I don't think it's sincere. And I think it's weird when women have to tell you how supportive of other women they are. And they're all about women's this, women's that. And it's almost like it doesn't, you know, here's the thing. When I was watching Tyra Banks in the documentary, the America's Next Top Model documentary. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was picking up a vibe that I didn't like about her. And I think that goes for a lot of people. When you watch an interview, when you watch a documentary, when you watch whatever, you're kind of like, something doesn't sit right. I found myself watching the Call Me Alex Cooper documentary thinking like, wow, I relate a lot to her. Like, she seems like a real one. And I've always kind of thought that. I really am on the fence with her all the time, where I'm like, I could kind of go both ways, but I think underneath it all, there's a flaw there with her that I think is deep rooted. Something with childhood, of course, like everything is, but it doesn't read genuine. It reads social climber, vindictive, mean girl, kind of like you'll do anything and burn any bridge down or like ruin any. I mean, so that's just my read. But I don't know her. I've never met her, so I can't, unless I meet someone and know someone, I can't. I bet we get along great. That's the thing. A lot of these people I talk about and have opinions about, I'm like, I bet I'd get along great. And a lot of things are exaggerated online and on camera. And I think Alex Cooper is one of those people where I think she exaggerates her persona and does that really obnoxious stuff for her show all the time. But again, I think when it comes to the whole women angle, I think it's a little bit weird. I never really like that when you have to preach about it. It's like when people do things for the optics of it and not because it's really who the fuck they are deep down. But I know she's been scathed and scarred by what happened to her in college and their soccer coach, and she's got her stuff, but don't we all? And I just want Sophia Franklin to win and succeed. I mean, she has in her own way, in her own right already, but I've been behind the scenes, man. I've been like waiting for this day. I'm like, please, I hope this comes out. I hope the truth of who knows what it's going to be. I hope it's not just like one chapter and it's just like a nothing burger. Kind of like what Hillary did. She didn't say shit. She doesn't know Epstein, never met him. She's never flown on that jet. All right. I got to wrap it up. I need to eat lunch. I love you guys. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is a video and audio podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And finally, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/TJMS. Patreon.com/TJMS. All right, I'm going to go. What am I going to eat for lunch? Probably like eggs and toast like I always do. You guys, I can't stop eating sourdough with eggs on top and avocado. So good. All right, love you. Talk to you next week. Bye.